Hello there, and welcome back to the Disconnected live on another beautiful Thursday night. This time with my dear friend, Mr. Aaron Pynn, also known as the Professor, also known as Mr. Vincent, as we can see in this comment from Ragnar. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, that professor name takes me back. Oh my God, that is like close to the beginning.
I don't
Thank
know
you
if
for
you and I
remembering
have
that.
ever talked about this. My wife still calls you the Professor.
Oh, really?
She asked who's going to be on. I said, the Professor's finally back. We haven't had him on in a long time.
That is so sweet. I saw that like anniversary thing that you did. So happy anniversary, man.
Thank you. It's funny enough. It's our date anniversary. It's the day we started dating, and not the day we got married. So yeah, it's that time of the year. Yeah, thank you.
I kind of love that you celebrate that though. That is really cool.
We didn't celebrate it. I mean, I worked my ass off all day, but that's it. What's been new with you since the last time you were on? You've moved continents.
I did. This is going to be as of September. It will be my second year in Morocco. And I found it really quickly. Physical media does not exist in Morocco. So for me to get stuff initially was when I went back to visit my family in Canada. But lately I just realized that hey, it's like $50 to get a plane ticket to and from Spain or France.
Right.
So I travel and I kind of like collect like internationally now. So call cinema international has been what it's come into.
Well, and on that note, that will be our discussion point tonight after we go over the announcements and what's coming next week and all that. We're going to be talking about picking things up in person internationally. And then also, since I've literally never had the opportunity to do that, some tips and things that I've learned along the way to import from international. And we'll try to cover all sides of that in case you have never dipped your toe in or you're looking for some better ways to go about it. But there's a lot to learn on that front. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of different things to cover, and we're not going to cover everything. So get ready for that.
I'm excited about the announcements. I want to know. Well, I don't know if things come out, and I always look to you to find out what's come out. So yeah, I'm excited to find out exactly what I missed that I'm going to be stoked about.
I mean, usually this is the second week of the month. Usually it's pretty slow, and it is still kind of slow, but there's still like 50 announcements. That's the kind of life we live in right now. 50 announcements is a slow week. That's a pretty good field to be in at the moment.
Oh my god.
So let's talk about what's been going on with your channel because you obviously used to be a lot more active, but you're making some choices to do some very different things lately. What have you been doing over on the YouTube side?
Well, I wanted to dive a bit more into different types of cinema, and I reached out to some people, and had some people reach out to me. So I've been able to do interviews for with some directors and some editors, kind of like what you with Reconnected, except on a on a not so regular basis.
Yeah.
But more than that, it's the film reviews, and I'm getting ready now to put up a review later on this week for Shadowland, which is this. Have you seen this yet? This documentary
Don't think
with
so.
Richard Stanley and a bunch of
No.
like these people at this really strange. It's wonderfully insane. But I've been able to like check out movies like Falling Stars and Things Will Be Different, which I think is an announcement that's coming out,
Yep.
which were amazing. Falling Stars, yeah, guys, you should see that. You should really see that. If you get a chance to see that, Ryan, I recommend it. So I've been like doing some different stuff. I'm doing a lot more pre-tape stuff as opposed to like my town used to be live, and I still do live, but for me, it's like having consistent stuff that people can come
Right.
into and just get those bite size. Okay, I want to find out this. I want to find out about this movie. One of my big things was Thomas Negavan, who did Caligula, the Ultimate Cut, who put it together. I was able to get him on, and he's a massive comic book guy like me, and he's friends with Grant Morrison. And I geeked out so much when I found out that he was friends with Grant Morrison because that's one of my favorite
That's
comic book
awesome.
writers. So that's pretty much that's it's been going. It's been different, but it's been interesting.
Yeah, very different. You spent a lot of time with Malcolm over the last year or so, and just very happy that you seem genuinely happy, which is nice.
It's been stressful. I'm not gonna lie. There's sometimes like I I was going to go into acting when when I was younger. There are times when I'm like, I've been editing for 12 hours and I come on and I'm live and I'm like, okay, happy Aaron face. Well, no, most of the time, I'm actually super stoked because it's that feeding, and I'm sure you get this too, feeding off the audience. It is so wonderful. Like it is such a great community that we've been able to like cultivate here. And you guys, I see a lot of names here that I know from the channel, and you guys are amazing. And anybody that hasn't seen me before, you guys rock. And I see Def Crocodile there, and I really need to get some of their stuff because it looks so cool.
It's pretty great. I know that there's been a couple in the chat. Delightful Astronaut is one. Said Aaron started my cinema loving journey, and I can't say much. I appreciate the door you opened for me. So much enjoyment. That's why moments like this are special for me because Aaron did a lot for me as well. We've talked about this on and off camera many times, but we have called you the professor so many times because you've passed along a lot of that knowledge that a lot of us just never had. And the ability to share what you've been witnessing and holding dear to you since you were, literally a teenager on many of these films
Oh my
is an impressive feat and something that I will cherish forever. I've always appreciated you and I always will.
You're gonna make me all misty-eyed. Seriously though, like, in all honesty, yeah, I remember when you were starting, but dude, the work and the stuff that you put in there and the talent that you had with this, you can't ignore that. Y- Dude, look at your journey. Look at your journey, man.
Well, with both of our journeys, one of the things that has fueled that is pickups and recent watches. So anything that you've got in recently that you want to talk about?
Recently, that's the thing. When I was in Malaga about 3 weeks ago in Spain, and I'll show some of that a little bit later. But there was some interesting stuff. I will show you one that I picked up and I watched actually today, and we'll talk more about this. But this is who could kill a child
That is a
from
wild
19.
cover.
That is from one of the penultimate scenes in the film. Have you seen this movie?
Oh yeah, many times. But you don't expect a cover like that for sure.
It wrecks me. But it's a wonderful thing. Like Spain is really known for their digibooks, and I'll
Yeah.
show you a couple more of those actually a little bit later on. But this is one I watched today, and I forgot this movie a lot since it's been a while since I'd seen it.
Yeah.
And I finished the film, and I was emotionally wrecked. I came downstairs, and I I hugged my spouse and pet my cat, and then I played Fortnite for 2 hours to decompress.
Oh, what a way to be able to shake that off. Uh, that's amazing.
It's an experience. But I gotta say, if you Divisia is one of the companies I'll mention tonight, and they do the Lord's work with some of these digibooks. They just do some great stuff.
Well, yeah, we will be talking more about what Aaron picked up in Spain and recent watches for that as well. I've got three things to show. One, this one is hard. Ever since May, when he passed, I've been trying to pick up as many of the titles that feature Lee Gambin special features that I missed. And so one of them is Godspell. This is one that came out from Sony, specifically from the studio. And he is on the commentary for this. Oddly enough, this has not been going down in price for everybody in the US that might be looking for a copy of this. It has held pretty steady at like 20 to 25 bucks. And I just finally had some credit and bought it from Amazon. Unfortunately, it came open. I might be looking at doing a return. I'm going to check the disc first, but yeah, you might want to if you find a copy of Godspell, you might want to pick it up rather than waiting if you're looking into it, because I don't know if it's going out of print, but it's still difficult. Um, this year, the one of the main storylines behind the boutique world is everybody waiting to be able to get in the Houses of Doom from
Got it.
Call
I'm
of
so
Cthulhu.
jealous. That is amazing.
Finally came in. This is one ordered February or March, I think. Also came in with this where's it at? Houses of Doom keychain. And I'm excited. Just finally got this, and we'll be able to watch the first one hopefully this weekend because I just started a vacation from work. That's a big one for me. But the last thing, this is kind of personal bias. The most important one to me, the brand new issue,
All
issue number
right.
13 of the Physical Media Advocate with the cover from As Above, So Below. This month is special. It's an all horror issue. It is one that features some really great pieces on some silent films, on films that I really love, like the Stendhal Syndrome from Argento. There's a long piece from Michelle Kisner on Ty West's trilogy of X and Pearl and Maxine, and it's just a special one. This is a great issue. Shout out to Stan, you are incredible, and very stoked on how we put this together. You are awesome.
See, I need that. I look for the X thing and for just Stendhal is one of my favorites. I'm a massive fan of the Stendhal syndrome, and a lot of people like rag on it as not being like upper echelon like Argento, but I think there's a lot to that one that gets overlooked sometimes.
Uh, in the chat, I'm putting a link. Sibiner just sent me a link on eBay for a decent copy of Godspell. $15 for used but in good condition. Seems pretty decent. Jeff says, did I say vacation? Ryan doesn't take vacations. I'm still working, just not at my day job. I will be doing a lot of other stuff. We'll be talking one more piece about that later on in tonight's show. But man, there's so much to cover this week, but I feel like we still have so much to dive in with you. One of the things that you brought to the world was this love of Vinegar Syndrome. You were like one of the first evangelizers of that label. That's why so many of us called you Mr. Vincent for so long. I got to ask, because everything that I've been checking out from you recently has not been about Vinegar Syndrome. How do you feel about their turn over the last 2 years overall?
I was conflicted. I like it a bit more, and it took me a while to get used to it. It happened with Arrow too, by the way.
Yeah.
Arrow had that kind of going to more of a mainstream.
Yep.
Well, I started collecting Vinegar Syndrome close to when it started. I did a year called the Year of WTF, where I collected WTF films, and Vinegar Syndrome obviously had a lot of those. When Rad came about, that was like there was a turning point for Vinegar
Yeah.
Syndrome because it was bringing in eyes that didn't know what Vinegar Syndrome was. Actually, at the time, I had people like message me saying, "Was Vinegar Syndrome real? Were they a legit company? Were they bootleg?" And at that point, I used to have Mr. Vincent as my Twitter handle for a bit because
Yep.
people, I did some like Just to This podcast too, where that name got put on me. But people started to tag me in Vinegars anytime they asked Vinegar Syndrome a question. And I'm like, I'm not Vinegar Syndrome. So I didn't want them to get mad at me. So I had to change my Twitter handle. But I do like what they're doing now. Uh, I am iffy on the way that VSAs have been going because I feel like some of their sub labels have kind of lost their direction.
Oh yeah.
But I like that there's more of a combination of things. That you can get stuff that's going to appeal to like a mainstream audience, but we're getting a lot of like kind of foreign titles now. A lot of the Spanish horror, the Giallo sets, Forgotten Giallo sets up to I think volume 7, which is absolutely incredible. So that's been fantastic to see. But it's been conflicting. Like, would I get a subscription? Are you still a subscriber?
Through this year, yes, but I'm probably this is probably my last year.
There's so many sales. I mean, you're
Yeah.
almost like I can probably wait and probably get subscriber level prices.
Or even better in many
Yeah,
cases.
yeah. Like right now, it's like the 31 days, right,
Yeah.
of October. Yeah. So I understand when people like I get people come on. I've had like Malcolm on my channel, who is like a long time subscriber like you, and he gets upset sometimes with the sales because like he said, I'm paying all this money for subscription, and people are coming in and getting prices that are better than mine. So what can you really say when it comes to something like that? They started the subscription model, and I'm glad that the subscription model is there. I think that it helps out a lot of companies, especially a lot of companies that are really kind of like bringing their foot into the like getting up there. TerraVision, Dev Crocodile, Radiance. I'll be honest with you, those three are like ones that I look at subscription wise before I'll look at Vinegar Syndrome. Not no shade Vinegar Syndrome. It's just that right now, some of the outliers, I guess, are doing some stuff that's kind of exciting me. So I still have Vinegar Syndrome. I still buy a lot of their stuff. I just got a package come from them. The Evian Press stuff is absolutely astonishing. I love that. And I got three of those actually: Maniac, House by Cemetery, and the reissue of Zombie.
Yeah. Yeah, those comics are insanely well done, and that's at the end of it. Like I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your history with them. And when you look at it, a lot of the WTF titles, they do still happen. It's just much further between those, or they're on the sub labels, and being a subscriber doesn't help with that all that much. And then on top of all that, there's partner labels, which for me, a lot of the gold lately has been in the partner label stuff, which I mean, yes, being a subscriber gets you the discount, but Vinegar Syndrome is just very different from when I fell in love with them, which is when I started watching you years ago. And you know, the amount of films like The Telephone Book that we get nowadays, that's not happening. The amount of the amount of releases that are, I don't know, like Nightmare Sisters and a lot of these other ones, it's just not the same level. It's a focus on films that people have heard of. I mean, we're getting more Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, we're getting more Amityville titles, stuff like that, and that's fine. I get it. I understand trying to get to a bigger base, and it's worked for them. Clearly, they're very successful.
I just wish there was more movies like The Caller
Yeah,
coming out there, because those are ones like you that come out of nowhere. You watch it, you're like, what did I just watch? What a wonderful sleeper hit.
yeah.
But I find that a lot of the stuff that is stuff that I know, and I've got Death Wish. You know, I've I've got a lot of those films.
Yeah.
Still interesting stuff to see, but this next year, because I think that the 10th anniversary year was the biggest downer for Vinegar Syndrome for me, especially when it comes to the box set that they did for the 10th year. When you like contrast it with the 5 films, 5 years, 4 sets that came out for the 5th year, which was incredible, like reasonably priced, easy to get, nice on your shelf, and then you have this box set that doesn't remind me of Vinegar Syndrome. It reminds me of AGFA, which is great if AGFA released it, but the titles didn't seem like Vinegar Syndrome style titles. If for a box set that's supposed to be celebrating 10 years of Vinegar Syndrome, it didn't seem like Vinegar Syndrome. That was one of the big things for me last year, because I almost re-got a subscription again just for that set, and I do still want to have that set for some of the Curiosity titles,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Vinegar Syndrome, and I'm like,
You know,
that was a little sad for me, especially for something that's been named after it. And to this day, like, people come to my channel, or I'll get like questions all the time about Vinegar Syndrome, and sometimes I don't have that. You know, it's not always there, that spark that I had before.
right. And it's an interesting point about the box set. It's not one that I've ever vocalized before, but now that you say it, it feels like a celebration of the Vinegar Syndrome. And I hate to use this moniker because it's a different line. It's a celebration of the archive of Vinegar Syndrome rather than the type of films that they've been putting out. It's a celebration of what is behind the scenes of Vinegar Syndrome rather than the commercial side that we're all used to seeing on our end. But I get why that's important too. It just seems odd to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of that way. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Although I was more positive on it back then, primarily because of the documentary that's on it. But you're right. I mean, that was more about the process of literally archiving the film.
Which is fantastic, wonderful to have. I just think as naming it's the 10th anniversary was
Yeah,
the
as a
major issue.
celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Other than Vinegar Syndrome, if you had to be Mr. Blank in 2024, what label is exciting you? What is the one that makes you say, if I were to be named something else, I would love to chomp down on that name?
Oh God, that's really hard. Because It's not when I was Mr. Vincent, like there was
There
this
was a
big
lot
label
less
out there.
labels then.
Uh, but there's a lot of stuff out there now that I'm interested in. Um, there's and here's the thing, like my taste and stuff, not so much has changed. It does change. It does evolve over time. The stuff that that you like and that you want, because you start watching. Like I had a lot of Scream Factory. I got a lot of Scream Factory titles because I'm a big slasher fan. And Vinegar Syndrome gave me these like really unusual kind of fun titles. But recently, I went to Paris and I went to the Sorca Metaluna, which is like pretty much the exclusive place to buy like boutique label titles
Yep.
in France. And they had everything there. So I got to look at TerraVision, I got to look at Radiance, I got to look at the Crocodile, I got to see all these other uh, things. And I'm like, I don't know. And aside from that, I'm starting to find these labels that I didn't know existed before. One of the most fascinating ones, which we'll talk about later, is Fanta Terror,
Mhm.
which is it's a label based on Spanish horror, and the title and label name in and of itself is really harkens upon like a specific period in time in Spain, and this when this revolution of like horror was trying to come through around in the 60s and 70s, at a time when there was a whole bunch of political strife and upheaval, which is absolutely fascinating for me. But I don't know, man. I guess Mr. It'd be like a
How about
question.
how about another label that you got me turned on to? David agrees in the comments. Mr.
I love Mondo.
Macabro.
I so
They
love Mondo.
I feel like they're doing better than they have in years right now.
I When I moved to Nova Scotia, which is where I lived before here, our first year there, my better half is from Morocco, and she was like really into a lot of the foreign films, and that's how I can get her to watch horror with me because she's not a big horror person. But we found Mondo Macabro had a sale, and we decided that that Christmas we were buying our each of ourselves Mondo Macabre titles. So I got this big box for me and Hind of Mondo Macabre titles that year, and the I apologize. The guy that runs it, uh, sweetheart, basically, he got sick, and he said that we were going to be a week late getting the titles to me, and he actually emailed me, like, "Who does that?" And says, "Hey, it's going to be about a week later. I hope you don't mind." I'm
Right.
like, "My God, thank you so much, for letting me know." But that's
Mhm.
fantastic, and had them before Christmas, and we spent Christmas watching Pakistan Dracula, and just some of the crazier titles, Alucard, and just wonderful stuff. Alucard, the great stuff.
That's a good one. Mondo's had a hell of a year. We're going to talk about their sale in just a little bit, as one of the announcements. And yeah, speaking of announcements, how about we get into those?
I'm ready.
All right. First one up after last week's show was Creep. This is coming from Second Sight on Blu-ray in the UK on December 9th. This is going to be an incredible release, it looks like. There is a standard edition coming out on the same day if you don't want the big box set. This is going to have a new audio commentary with the director, the editor, and Mark Duplass himself. This will have the archival audio commentary that they did previously with Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass. There's going to be a live Q&A with the cast and crew. That was a 10 years of Creep celebration, some deleted scenes, alternative scenes, alternate endings, and then, of course, if you get this deluxe limited edition, you're going to get the rigid box that comes with the new art on the outside, a 70-page book with new essays by Sarah Appleton, Kat Ellinger, David Kitteridge, and Amber T., plus 6 art cards. Have you seen Creep, Aaron?
I love Creep. I love its sequel too. So I hope Second Sight
Me
puts that
too.
out as well. You know what would have been awesome? The wolf mask,
Yeah.
because that is such a cool aspect in the film. I saw this film, and I knew nothing about it. I just went in to watch it, and I think I went to watch another movie that was called Creep that I'd seen before, and I came up on this one, and that just starts, and you're watching, and it keeps going, and he's such an engaging actor, um, that you can't take your eyes off him, and he's so weird, and things just keep going. You're kind of, why is he staying there? But like then you're like, oh yeah, I know why he's staying there, because this guy is absolutely so fascinating. I'd stay there too. because it's just, I know I should be leaving. I know I should go, but something is just drawing me in to this person. And he does that. There's that wonderful scene like they show there on the book where he's in the bathtub
Yep.
before he's kind of he's still going on the, because at the beginning he gives a false reason for why that he has the guy filming him.
Yep.
And it's peach fuzz. Oh, gotta love peach fuzz, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out why I zoomed in here. You can see the peach fuzz mask in the axe on the cover here, which is a really nice touch. Silent Mandible in the chat says, I hear that they're working on Creep 3. Well, if you didn't know, they actually filmed already an entire series, and they are putting out the Creep tapes on Shudder, I believe, end of November or early December, one of the two. Somebody in the chat may have that date more ready than I do, but yeah, you should be able to watch that whole season here soon.
Cool.
I wouldn't mind them doing a Creep 3 though, to sort of end out the trilogy, which they'd supposedly been planning the whole time. This looks fun.
I want the sequel too. So now Second Sight has to do part 2 as well.
I do kind of wish it was a double feature. It would have been really nice to have both of them in one. But I guess if they are releasing a third one eventually, we can get solid releases of all three.
Like kind of like they did with When a Stranger Calls when they put the sequel on there. That was like such a good release.
Yeah. Next one, Imprint. They had announced a couple of TV shows. We're getting Bewitched season 1 and 2. These are coming in 4 different 2-season sets, rather than the Mill Creek version, which is all coming in one big box. This is going to have added bonuses like a colorized version of every season 1 and 2 episode in SD. You've got limited edition hardbox package, 172-page booklet, new commentaries by Herbie J. Pilato, who is the Bewitched historian, Chris York, who's the son of Dick York, and then some TV historians on a few of the episodes. The big thing, though, is the price difference. Did want to put that for everybody just to pay attention to. The Mill Creek set is going to be way cheaper than this. However, this is going to be far less compressed. The Mill Creek set, I believe, is like 15 discs or 22 discs. Sorry, this one is 15 discs. So the entire series on Mill Creek is 22 discs on the Blu-ray. And the first 2 seasons alone here are 15 discs. So there's a lot more room for the episodes to breathe. They're not going to be as grainy, guaranteed. I'm far, far certain that the quality here is definitely going to be quite a bit higher. But Bewitched, I'm sure you've seen quite a bit Bewitched over the years.
I have the Mill Creek set in the back.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey there, George. I'm a big fan of Bewitched. I don't know if we need colorized episodes of the black and white ones, though. I'm a Puritan when it comes to that. I'm like, I like, remember the old Turner when the colorized films? That was, I don't know.
It was not a good era.
I do like the new features. The price point is a bit high, but if I had anything like that was a negative with Imprint, and I love Imprint, it's their price point.
It's always the price point.
Is that kind of that barrier for a lot of collectors, which is a shame, because when you look at the stuff that they put out, there's so much work put into it. So you can kind of see.
It's true, but this set is $150, and so when you
For 2
think about
seasons.
it, and that's just $150 for 2 seasons shipped to the U.S. So $75 for 1 season of Bewitched. When you break it down like that, that's a lot.
Yeah, like this is. I'll be honest with you. Like this is nice. Unless Imprint contacts me, like this is probably a pass for me. To be honest with you, because it is a bit pricey, and like when you're like dollars are. Hey Kubrick, when your dollars are kind of trying to get everywhere.
Yep.
You're stretching that almighty dollar. Like that's a lot for when you can get a lot of really nice stuff for that price.
Oh yeah. And another nice thing that you might want from Imprint is I Dream of Jeannie, the complete series. This is coming on a 22-disc set. This is going to have all 139 episodes presented in 1080 HD, of course. You got a 300-page booklet on this with story information for every single episode. You've got the option, again, to view season 1 in original black and white or colorized SD. You've got audio commentaries, but none of this is brand new. So if you're a big I Dream of Jeannie fan, you probably have access to these.
It's behind me.
I
Not
kind
that
of
stuff.
figured.
Yeah. I Dream of Jeannie is one of those shows I grew up with.
Yeah.
And it was, it was in reruns by the time I watched it. But I love this show. How much is this one?
It's around the same price, if I remember right.
But at least it's a full series, like
Right.
it's as opposed to 2 seasons. Like I can understand this one a lot. And I'll be honest with you, I love Bewitched. I do like I Dream of Jeannie just a little bit more. Yeah, this one would be more of I'd lean towards as opposed to like because it's complete.
Right.
But again,
$600 for the whole series of Bewitched is going to be a lot.
Yeah, you got to really like Bewitched, man.
Yeah.
Or just have that.
Next up, the brand new Joker movie that has taken the world not by storm, but by a fart in the wind.
Have you seen
it? No, I've not seen it, but that's true of most people. I would like to see it. Oh gosh, Chris says I Dream of Jeannie is $230 US. Whew. Anyways, this Joker sequel steelbook is one that you can pre-order now from Groove and Walmart and a handful of other places like Amazon if you would like. I've heard a handful of decent reviews, but quite a lot more really stinking reviews. So if you haven't seen it, keep an open mind. I'm still very curious to see it because I like Lady Gaga primarily. I'd like to see what she could do with it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you. I was more on the positive side than the negative side when it comes to this one, because I kind of understand why he did it, but at that same thing, I understand why what he did with this film is going to like massively peeve a lot of like the core audience for the film.
Yeah.
But I think there's certain aspects of this that are kind of genius. I know I'm going to get some heat for that, but
no,
it's not
unique.
People get on like on the hate train a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not a perfect film, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not, it's not a bad film either.
All right, moving on to our next one. That is Shout Factory launched their Shocktober sale. It is live now, and if you spend $100, you get a free gift. And if you want to receive a couple free gifts, you'll have to place a couple different orders. So like a single $200 order does not get you 2 free gifts. The free gifts they're talking about, they are a Scream Factory VHS magnet, which people are receiving already, a free 1-month subscription to Shout TV, or a 15% discount on a future purchase, but you can't use that during the Shocktober sale. You got to wait till after. That's all cool and all, and this sale ends in a week, so you might still want some time to be able to purchase some stuff. However, let's talk about one of the most scathing things to come out of physical media in the last few weeks, I think, and that is the ridiculous promise here of Scream Factory offering a 15% discount, because the email they send you with the discount afterwards says that it's valid for one-time use, which makes sense, but it is only redeemable between October 18th and December 1st, so you literally have less than 6 weeks to use what you just earned. And then beyond that, you can't use it on upcoming releases or new releases. So you can't pre-order something and get 15% off. That's the whole point of why some people paid for this, so that they could get a discount on a pre-order. Why in the world would they not let people know about that until after you've earned it and got the email?
That's why. Hey, but there's that fridge magnet. Actually, years ago, they put out a baller of a fridge magnet like sheet that I still have, but we haven't seen anything like that
right over there.
So, do you too? Oh, that's awesome. Yep. Did you like me look and say, okay, I got that.
Yep.
I got all those movies. But yeah, I remember the fridge magnets that they had, the coasters. Remember the Vinegar Syndrome coasters that they did? And that Fangoria, Vinegar Syndrome, that Scream Factory Fangoria magazine.
Yep.
Which is upstairs right now, actually. which is a shame because I really, really love this company, but it's been a while since they've been the Scream Factory of old.
Ain't
Speaking of
that the
companies that
truth?
have changed,
Yeah, this is I don't. This is bad, folks. Like normally, I'm unhappy with Scream Factory's pricing or something like that. But to bait people to spend $100 in your sale to earn a 15% discount, and then you take away a lot of the things that people would want to purchase with it, that is beyond unethical. That is crazy.
I'm I'm glad I can't buy any of this stuff right now. That's the you know
Yeah,
you,
and that's the thing. A lot of people aren't buying anything because the Scream Factory sales aren't that great, anyways. But still, for somebody that did, and they sent me a copy of this email, that is ridiculous.
they have not had good Scream Factory sales since about like 2016. I think that was the last good Scream Factory sale that I saw.
They've had one or two, like last year. One of the bonus sets that you could get if you sent $100 is a 4K set with of two films and a bunch of pins. That was worth when it came out
Wow.
$120.
Okay,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
the Happy Death Day set. That was one thing that you could get last year if you spent $100. I don't have any reason to think that they couldn't have done something like that this year for sure.
I would have loved that. I love Happy Death Day. How did I miss out on that? That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
All right, that is the main part of this. They said expect shipping delays. A handful of people have already been getting their stuff, so the delays will probably be coming out over the next couple weeks. They can't alter your order once it's been placed. The cart doesn't save anything. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of like downsides. Just pay attention to what you're purchasing on Scream Factory. Next, December 3rd, a 4K steelbook from Dark Sky is coming for a film called Rippy, aka The Red. That is a film from this year that is about to debut in theaters. I think in my city, it's about to play next week. This says a series of gruesome murders is terrifying the inhabitants of the Australian outback settlement of Axehead. Maddie, the town's only law enforcement officer and sheriff, searches for clues. However, her investigations lead nowhere until her uncle Schmitty mentions a massive 7-foot zombie kangaroo that he is convinced is responsible for the bloodshed. At first, Maddie doesn't believe his seemingly absurd suspicions, but when the murders continue, she is forced to face reality, determined to end the nightmare and save her town. Maddie, side by side with her uncle and Aunt Donna, confronts the killer kangaroo in a fight to the death. First off, that synopsis, they just explained the whole film.
Yeah. No, that sounds kind of awesome. Zombie kangaroo, actually. That's kind of a me thing right there.
Sasha says, is this Razorback but with the kangaroo? I mean, it kind of sounds like it.
Exactly, yeah.
Paul says, should I keep an eye on the kangaroos at the end of my street? I mean, clearly. Humboldt, kangaroos scare me. Serious? Hell yeah. I mean, they will beat the shit out of you.
I love the cover, man.
It's a nice poster.
Does I wonder if the actual kangaroo costume look anything because
Paul, are the zombie kangaroos, do they look like that down there in Australia? All right, let's go to the next one. November 25th, BFI is re-releasing their set that was called Of Flesh and Blood, the cinema of Hirokazu Koreeda. This went out of print very quickly, and they are able to re-release it. They got the rights again, and this is a big one because a lot of people were upset that they couldn't get this. So I hope that if you were upset the first time, you do keep an eye out and you check this out. This one has Maborosi, Afterlife, Nobody Knows, and Still Walking. And they even came out and said, by popular demand, we're pleased to reissue this collection following the previous long sold out limited edition. And there's lots of extras on this. This is a very fairly priced title and looks like an incredible set. Keep an eye out on this if you want it.
did you get that one?
Nope. This was I was just simply not paying attention to BFI back when this came out, and it's gone. It is one I would like. I don't know that I don't think I've seen any of these films, so this would probably be a great set for me.
It's definitely an intriguing one.
And it's well priced now that it's not out of print. Next up, Stallone's Daylight is getting a 4K release from Kino Lorber. This is from 1996. It'll have a Dolby Vision HDR master. Who knows when it's coming out, because it's Kino, and when they announce like this, it'll come out 6 months or 4 years from now. How do you feel about Daylight, sir?
Well, obviously, it's like Ilsa. It's a like it's coming out right away. It's been a while since I've seen Daylight. I liked it. It was a good film. I don't know if I need a 4K Daylight, to be honest with you. Like there's movies where I'm like, okay, yeah, I need this on 4K, but I don't know if Daylight's one of them. I think I've got it on DVD or Blu-ray, and I think I'm pretty good with that. But if you don't have it and you're going into 4K, then yeah, I haven't got any Radiance titles yet there, Jeff, but I really want to get some.
Yeah, this is one I definitely won't pre-order or anything like that, but this is one I don't have a copy of at all, and I
Oh,
would
then it's
love
good.
to have a nice 4K copy of it, and I'll get it on sale in, a year and a half after it releases for like $15. That's pretty great.
Kino has great sales. Kino does have good sales.
We're in the middle of one right now. Don't forget. If that doesn't work, well, I guess first we'll talk about that. The issue, like I said, issue number 13 of the Physical Media Advocate is out. You can pick this up on Amazon worldwide or in about 8 or 9 different brick and mortar stores all across the U.S. and even one in Canada. Pretty awesome that they are still willing to sell those. We have an article on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We've got one about killer doll films. We've got happy birthday piece for Glynis Johns. We've got a review of The Bat and Annie Laurie, 2 different silent films. Lots of stuff in this, and a big piece on etiquette at Q&As, which I love. I hope people check this out.
Which I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. Every couple months, I watch that movie with
Of
Shaq.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, there's amazing cover.
The next one from Kino is one I am genuinely excited about. November 26th, we're getting a 4K of M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit. This has a new commentary by Brian Reisman and Max Every, and some archival features are coming on the Blu-ray disc as well. Have you seen The Visit, Mr. Pynn?
I love The Visit. I think it's one of his best. And by the way, this slip is
The slip is
sweet.
amazing.
Yeah, this is one that I definitely want to grab. I think there was a Vinegar Syndrome movie like Grandmother's House or something that I was like, gotta watch that one. But this is one of the ones where that will be on my shelf. This is certainly for me.
I am, most people know by now, an M. Night Shyamalan apologist, and truly loved this movie.
Did you like Lady in the Water? I gotta ask you that.
That is my least favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, and I might even put that below like After Earth.
See, because my spouse is a massive Lady in the Water fan. She's like a big apologist for that one. That's hers.
It's not a good movie. Somebody's got to tell her. It's really bad. All right, let's go to the next one. Kino going even closer to my soul to release Dante's Peak coming on 4K, which I've been waiting for a proper release of this. So there's another one that I loved as a kid, but I do not have as any release. So I will be getting the 4K for this. Cannot wait to see what they do with the slip. Love this movie. Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton, classic, fun movie. How do you feel about this one compared to Daylight?
This one is closer to me. I love Dante's Peak. I was not a kid when it came out. I wish, but
I was 10 when this released, by the way.
Oh my God, you make me feel old. But yeah, I remember this one. I saw this one in the theater, I think. And I don't have a copy of this. I think I may have like an old DVD copy, like the first one. So yeah, this is a definite upgrade for me.
It's a must. I love the disparity. Craig saying, I'm going to ruin my childhood by rewatching this. And then right after that, Brendan saying, yeah, Keto killing the 4K game. Paul says he was 4 years old when this released, so feel even worse, I guess.
Oh my God. I had kids in when this movie came out.
Next up, a proper huge title for a lot of people. In the UK, they are getting a 4K of Amadeus coming soon. We don't have an exact date yet, but it will be, I believe, before the end of this year. And you can buy this box set, which has some interesting stuff with this. It's going to have a steelbook, this rigid slipcase, and then some paper premiums that they put in there, like the art cards and stuff. But as usual, like we've been seeing most recently on these types of releases, one of the cuts will be in 4K. And on this one, I'm not even sure if they've confirmed if the other cut will be in the box, but the theatrical version will be 4K. The extended will not be. I know that's a big sticking point for many, many people, and I totally get it. I would like them, when they announce these titles, explain why the other one is not in 4K. Like, if you don't have the materials for it, let us know. Let us understand.
I think that would be the reason, actually, because well, theatrical should have all the elements there, where the extended cut may not have the elements to do that,
Right.
or to do a branching. So this is one of my favorites. I'm a massive fan of Amadeus. I love this film. I'm a big music person, and I listen to like all genres, from like metal to opera to Amadeus, and I just absolutely fell in love with this film.
Yeah.
It is one of those movies that I just used to turn on and watch, and after a while, I put it on in the background, and there were like scenes that they would do, and I would like remember. And Amadeus is just like, he's a rock star in that, like in this movie. It's such a good film.
Ronnie is asking, does this mean a Criterion 4K is coming soon? It doesn't necessarily. The fact that Warner Brothers themselves is putting this out in the UK, they very well could put it out in the US as well. So we'll see. It could be Criterion, but I don't know. It's the way that Warner Brothers kind of, I don't know, they like spoil the UK with really nice editions of Warner Brothers titles and then license some of them out in the US. It's a weird setup. I feel like somebody that works for Warner Brothers in the UK just loves physical media. But we'll see.
So,
Not entirely sure there.
will this release be kind of like those recent HMV exclusives where they put out those Mad Max titles, which look absolutely? Did you see those? They look absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, I saw the cover. I've not seen one in person, of course, because
They have like
HMV
the big
ship anywhere.
posters and art
Yeah.
cards. And
I don't think it'll be that special. This looks more akin to like the Zavi exclusive Beetlejuice steelbook, stuff like that, where it's a hard box and then the steelbook on the inside. Craig is saying materials are cost. The extra version is really bonus content, and bonus content's really 4K. But it shouldn't be. That's the thing. Especially when it's just another version of the film. Use seamless branching. It's 90% already there due to the theatrical. Come on. Let's see. Warner Brothers does no steelbooks for the US. It's very weird. UK always gets them, says Wave. That is true. Michael says this will surely have too many pixels. That's hilarious. Yes, Ragnar is correct. Used to be DVD, then Blu-ray together, then Blu-ray and 4K together. Now they separate and charge separate, and that pisses a lot of people off, rightly. Speaking of things that should piss some people off, December 2nd on this steelbook. We'll talk about the art in a moment. In the UK, Sony themselves is releasing Kung Fu Hustle with no new bonus features and not 4K, and it's coming in this steelbook, and the steelbook looks like that. How do you feel about that, Aaron?
Sony's made some questionable decisions recently. I think we can be honest about that. And this is definitely one of them. I love Kung Fu Hustle. This is one that I watched with Hind, and we watched it actually regularly when we first got together. I hate this cover, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there.
It's real
It
bad.
sucks. I really do. I think it's horrible. No new features, no new transfer. It deserves it. Kung Fu Hustle deserves it, man. This is an insane film that deserves way better than this.
Like, I agree with Craig in the chat. Says that seems like it's inspired by Looney Tunes, and it's not a good nod to Looney Tunes, but I get what they were going for. Sure, but man, this is not a successful move.
It's like if you asked AI to do a Looney Tunes like cover.
In a way, yeah, for sure. All right, we talked about this one fairly recently, so we'll go through quickly with this. Universal is releasing Sugarland Express in the UK on November 18th. The only real odd thing about this is this has all across the cover here, limited edition to 1,000 copies. There's nothing, we got a new bonus feature that's on all the other releases of this. I can't find anything else that makes this a limited edition other than the words limited edition on the front, which is hilarious.
I I love the cover, and I'm so totally in love with Goldie Hawn. But and yeah, this is one that if I see this in the store when I'm back, I'm going to Canada next month. I would definitely buy this. I love this film.
Should be everywhere pretty soon. November, I believe we're getting it pretty much everywhere. Speaking of sales, like we did a moment ago, Arrow has released all the details and launched their Shocktober sale. You can get that from now until November 1st. And like Aaron and I have both talked about with Arrow sales many, many times in the past, the US version of the Arrow sale is not that great. It's about $18 to $20 a title. That for the Blu-rays only. For the 4Ks it's like 23, 24. But the real deals here are if you go to the UK version of the sale, and
Oh,
not only are they going to be cheaper for you, but they also carry third window titles, and those are on sale. They carry second run DVD titles, and those are also on sale. The big thing to remember is shipping is freaking expensive nowadays, and to really take advantage of this, you got to buy like 4 to 6 titles depending on the price to really make it worth paying that much for shipping. But if you do, the UK sale is where you're going to make the best moves here and save the most amount of money. So if you've been waiting to stock up on any of those, or Arrow, they're better priced than the US stuff, but uh check it out.
this is one that if I wasn't going to Canada next month, I would 100% be in on, because for me, where I live in Morocco, we have family in Paris, so it doesn't cost me much to ship
Nice.
for this sale. And the UK sale, even when I was in Canada, I'd always go to the UK sale when it came to Arrow Video. There's just so much nice stuff that they put out that I love. That set there, the Nika Masaraka set, is one that I really need to get, because I constantly talk about Nika Masaraka on
Yep.
my channel, and it's kind of it's almost a running joke right now. But that is pretty cool.
The films in that set look very good. I'm kind of surprised they put that much time and energy into it because it's his lesser known, more comedy films. They look really good.
Well, if you got Blind Date from Scorpion when it was came out, which is a fantastic film, it's an underrated one. Um, there's a featurette on that one talking about the early films of Nika Masarakas, which is probably on that set. Um, and I remember like watching this featurette and like I need to see all these films that I couldn't see before, and now Arrow's put them all out on one beautiful set, and I really need it. But anybody who hasn't picked up Blind Date with Joseph Bottoms and Kirstie Alley, definitely worth checking out. But serial
Definitely
killing.
worth. Yeah. All right, that is Arrow. Raven Banner. We have not had a new title from Raven Banner in a long time. They are a Canadian company, if you've never heard of them. In early November, shipping, they had come out and said probably shipping right around middle of November. They are releasing Frankie Frico. This is the 2024 film from the same director that did PG or Psycho Gorman. And this thing is getting really fun reviews. Like, it sounds like if you really liked Psycho Gorman, you're probably really going to like this. This will have an audio commentary with the writer and director. This will have one of the actors on that commentary, the cinematographer, behind the scenes stuff, some other conversations, some Q&As, trailers. But the big thing is if you buy this special Raven Banner release, this will have a reversible slipcover, it says. I don't think it's the slip. I think it's the sleeve on the inside. A CD soundtrack featuring the full film score, and then a booklet of illustrations by Bob Fingerman and a Frankie Frico greeting card. Now, they did something really special like this for Psycho Gorman, and it was great, and it sold out pretty quickly. If you think you're going to love this title and it comes out at like Orbit DVD, which Orbit usually carries their stuff, you might want to pick it up sooner than later. I can't wait to get this.
That's awesome. I mean, like that. That's the thing I wanted to say, was that the Psycho Gorman set went so fast.
Yeah.
I was shocked, and they put out such good stuff. It's so refreshing, because a while back they hadn't put out stuff for a while, and there was like rumors that Raven's Banner was going to be no more, that they were shutting down.
Yep.
So to see this come out is fantastic, and it's good to see a Canadian company still doing well when it comes to the physical media part of it. And I kind of really want to see this movie. I have not seen this one. It looks really cool.
I've not seen it yet either. I think it's mostly only played festivals so far. What's hilarious too is just happened this month. I did a full feature, as you can see on this whole page, a page of Raven Banner, and then they come and announce this. I could have put it front and center and tried to help sell it. But yeah, it's great timing. I'm excited for this. That being said, Psycho Goreman got like 7 or 8 different releases. Don't feel like you have to go get this on day one. It'll probably get a handful of releases. In fact, we're already going to talk about the second one in just a few minutes. But this looks like a really solid release. And I know for a lot of people, that Psycho Goreman Hunky Boy edition is still the best release of it. So if you want the best, this might be the best.
It's like when they put out that season's Grievings release of Black Christmas in Canada, and it had like the mini like Real Morning magazine. That is still one of my prized treasures.
Yeah, that thing is rather hard to find in 2024. Going to our next title. This one is wild. Did not expect this. December 17th, we are getting a Blu-ray release for Severance, the Apple TV Plus series. This is season 1, and this is coming from the company Fifth Season. They are the production company that literally makes the show, so they are the ones that are releasing it. I don't know if they have a different sort of contract, but the fact that we've now got Blu-ray releases for, I think, 3 or 4 different titles from Apple TV, I hope that means they keep them coming. Obviously, they've probably made their money off of Severance for this one for streaming, and now they see a chance to make some more. Sure, by all means, we would all love to get it, because I have never seen it because I don't have Apple TV.
That's one of the things about streaming is like you really like want to see these shows come to physical media, and so many times they don't. You're waiting forever, like Hush, which is just coming out, and people wait years for that. So to see like this come fairly quickly is really good. Hopefully they keep doing stuff like this. Just Apple, stop canceling your shows before people get a chance to actually know they exist.
Yeah. All right. Next one. This is a big deal too. Liberation Hall Records, which I had a couple of people ask if this was a new label. It is not a new label. It is one that they primarily focus on music, and they don't put out many movies. But they are releasing on January 21st Shelf Life from 1993. This is the Paul Bartel film that was long thought just completely lost. And here it is. We are finally getting it. It's going to have reversible cover art. It's going to have a commentary with Olan Jones, Andrea Stein, Jim Turner, Philip Holohan, and Alex Mechanic. There's going to be an American Cinematheque Q&A with a lot of those same people, moderated by Grant Moninger. Q&A with Tina, Pam, and Scotty, teasers, trailer, and then a clip called Chain Reaction. This is so cool to see Lost Media come and get a full release.
This is kind of what makes it like what we do, kind of like so rewarding when we see stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And it's Paul Bartel, so you can't go wrong there.
That's true. That's true. Next one, Ghost of Red Ridge from 2024, starring Owen Williams and Trent Culkin, is getting a Blu-ray release from Wellgo USA on December 17th. And I don't know anybody who had ever heard of this film before it was announced as coming to Blu-ray.
I like Westerns. It's a Western, right? It looks like a Western.
Yeah. Next one. Let's just go right through it. October 28th on Blu-ray in the UK from Vertigo releasing Freud's Last Session from 2023. This one's a little more interesting. We got Anthony Hopkins himself as Sigmund Freud, Matthew Good playing C.S. Lewis. Yeah, I mean, just thinking about Anthony Hopkins playing Sigmund Freud makes me kind of want to see this.
I want to see this movie. When I saw the announcement for this one, I'm like, oh, I need to see this film.
Yep. Moving right along. Hey, Aaron's going to talk about this movie for a minute. November 18th, Lightbulb Films in the UK is releasing Things Will Be Different from 2023. This is the brand new feature from Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. And yeah, why don't you talk about Things Will Be Different?
I got a chance to see this one. Like had people reach out to me, and I sat down to watch this. I did not know what I was going to. I didn't even watch like most of the trailer. I watched like half the trailer. So no, I'm going to stop because I want to go in kind of blind, which is a really good way to go in. What I can tell you is it is a very trippy, very unique, kind of like almost kind of Twilight Zone-ish style film. Like elements of something like a Time Crimes or a Triangle, but still kind of its own unique thing. Basically, it is a brother and a sister. A robbery has happened, and they need to hide out. They're given a place to hide out that, without saying much else, is kind of the perfect hiding spot until something happens and they're stuck in time. It is brilliant, and I absolutely adored this film. This is one of the big ones for me this year. Things Will Be Different and Falling Stars were two of my favorite movies this year.
Nice.
I love that at a time when we're getting so much, okay, there's a remake of this, there's a superhero movie of this, that there's stuff like this that's out there. And it's fantastic to find out that this had a physical release, because I know this is just coming off of the festival circuit recently.
And that's the scary part. There's so many films like this one that could easily have a fairly successful festival run and then never be seen again, literally anywhere. It's crazy.
I'm so glad. I'm just so happy for this one here. I tried to get the guys on, but it didn't. Timing hasn't worked out yet. But I would love to have the director on to talk about it.
It looks pretty great. Next one.
One other thing.
Sure.
The actress in this, Christmas Bloody Christmas. Remember that movie from Shudder with the Santa Claus? That's her. The lead actress in that is the lead actress in this one here, and she was a scene stealer in that movie, and she's again a scene stealer in this one too. So just want to put that out there because I really like that actress.
Nice. All right, going right along since we already shot Crossing, coming from Mubi right now. Somehow I missed this one getting announced and wanted to make sure that it still got some attention. You can get this on Blu-ray. It came out at the very end of September over in the UK, and I had heard about this film earlier this year as being incredible. This is a brand new from 2024 film. Synopsis for this one from acclaimed director Levan Akin is probably not the right way to say that, but that's what I'm going to try to go with. Crossing is a moving and tender tale of identity, acceptance, and unlikely connection that transcends borders and generations. Leah, a retired school teacher living in Georgia, hears from a young neighbor, Achi, that her long-lost niece, Tekla, a transgender woman, has crossed the border into Turkey. Hoping to bring Tekla home after a period of estrangement, Leah travels to Istanbul with the unpredictable Achi to find her. Exploring the hidden depths of the city, they cross paths with a transgender lawyer called Evrim, who helps them in their search. As a reluctant and surprising friendship forms between Achi and Leah, the unexpected duo begin to discover that Tekla may not want to be found. With remarkably authentic performances from everybody that is in this film, Akin's third film offers a vibrant and evocative portrait of the city of Istanbul. It's humanistic and compassionate. This hopeful vision of forgiveness is a heartfelt portrayal of overcoming the degrees of separation that divide us. And that just sounds great.
It sounds like an absolutely fantastic film. And by the way, that cover is gorgeous.
It's great. Mubi does really good with their art.
This is one I want. This is one that I actually really want.
It's at Orbit DVD if anybody's in the US and is looking for a copy of it. I still can't believe this is still a thing. December 17th, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 2, aka The Book of Carol, is getting a Blu-ray Steelbook on December 17th. This is not the art. This is just a promotional poster. They're just letting everybody know that it is still coming out on physical. As far as I can tell, Steelbook only. But also, that title is awful. The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol.
Oh, that's real? I thought you were joking.
Nope. That is what it is called.
I have not seen this show at all, actually. I'll be bluntly honest with you.
I've not seen any Walking Dead stuff since season 2, which feels like a lifetime ago at this point.
You didn't see the governor? You got to see the governor stuff.
Planet Mondo's here. What's going on, sir? Why does The Walking Dead look like a Star Wars Disney Plus? It really does look like a Star Wars Disney Plus show.
It does. It kind of look it's got that accolade look to it there.
It does. I did not put that together. It truly does. Hey, we talked about this. Let's go into some more details. The Mondo Macabro Halloween sale is starting in just 12 days on October 22nd. It is going to be on until the 27th of October. And all of their old catalogs are going to be on sale. All that same stuff as usual. They're all great titles. Pick as many of them up as you can or as you want, whatever. The exciting thing, though, they're also going to be selling 4 new titles. 3 of them are going to be 4K Blu-ray dual format releases in slipcovers, and then one of them will be a regular Blu-ray release in one of their standard red cases. But one of them will be Cafe Flesh from 1982 coming on 4K as part of this sale. That is a big damn deal.
Of all the sales that are right there, guys, this is one of the ones that I hope you guys support because they put out some amazing stuff. That Bollywood box set is still one of my favorite buys. That was
It's an
just so
incredible release.
didn't they put out the really weird Caligula film? Not Caligula, Caligari film.
Oh, Dr. Caligari. Yeah, same director as Cafe Flesh, by the way.
Yeah, is it as insane? I'm trying to remember Cafe Flesh because it's been a while. Is it as insane as Caligari was? Because Caligari was like
it is as
insane.
stylish, but it is a hardcore film. So be prepared for that.
Oh, okay. I remember this film. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's going in, guys. Yeah, the Bollywood box set is criminally underrated. It really, really is. But yeah, I would say like out of all these sales that we've talked about, Scream doesn't need your money. But Mondo definitely puts out some really great stuff.
Yeah, this is one of those companies that somehow their curation fits my style of what I want to watch like 98% of the time. I think there's only ever been 1 or maybe 2 titles that I've kind of just not been thrilled about, but they've still not been bad. There's lots of titles released by other companies that I've thought were very bad. The Mondo
I
stuff
remember
is
they were doing
always
Nash wasn't cool.
Yep, that is true. Yeah, there's been some great stuff though. Mondo is pretty much always great. Let's see. Simner says they need an IMDb for adult films.
It exists
There,
actually.
there are yes, there is one, and I believe on. I think it's on Letterboxd. They have instituted a filter so you can search for adult films, but they don't come up in the regular search. You have to put a little like suffix at the end of your search. Just a heads up, you can look that up. Let's see. After the magic they did on Dr. Caligari, can't wait to see Cafe Flesh once again. Fun City Editions released the vinyl for Cafe Flesh. They sure did.
Yep.
Craig says, is that a Skinemax as it looks? No, it is much more hardcore than anything on Skinemax.
Oh yeah.
Wave is asking, is there going to be some Japanese films released during the sale? Yes, they have confirmed that Bohachi Bushido is one of the other titles coming in this sale. If you go read the Mondo Macabro forums, there is some guesses on the 3rd 4K release, but I don't know. I don't think anything else has been confirmed yet. Yes. All right, going to our next thing. The Roundup Punishment. I think this is the 4th film in the Roundup series. I may be wrong there. December 10th, it is getting a 4K media book release in the US and a standard Blu-ray release from Cape Light International. I've heard these are all great. I also don't think the first one has a Blu-ray release yet. So kind of weird that 2, 3, and 4, which got more popular, obviously that's why, but they've gotten great releases, and the first one still doesn't have a good release.
I haven't seen these yet.
Yeah.
These are ones that have been on my radar, but I haven't had a chance to see them, pick them up.
Don Lee is always great, though. I would love to see these. I probably should pick these up.
Yeah, same here.
All right, next one.
What?
I forgot about this. Future Video, who is like a partner of Makeflix, I believe that either they run it or something like that. They are putting out the Blair Rabbit Project from 1999. This is the 20th anniversary special edition, and this is a satire, of course, of the Blair Witch Project. If the Blu-ray for this, which is going to be a mod Blu-ray, does not excite you enough, you could buy the VHS version that they are calling the Dung Bunny VHS. The synopsis for this says, in October of 99, two idiots and some actress they hired disappeared in the woods while shooting a documentary about rabbits. 20-ish years later, their footage was found. It's pretty crazy stuff, and things didn't go well. You'll want to sit down before watching. This is available for the first time, and it's the found footage parody, leaving audiences guffawing and gasping right up to the explosive finale. Yeah. I don't know about this one. It's got a couple special features on it, but nothing huge.
It's kind of one where I'd get the VHS. Yeah. Well, I think I'd have the better kind of that style look to it. Actually, you get Zippy and Blair Rabbit Project, put them together as a double feature. There you go.
TB says this title confused me so much when I first posted it. Sorry about that. Sipner, why does it look like this dude caught a shot in the mouth? Because that is a ton of snot. Ton of snot. All right, let's go on to something slightly more classy, and that is a Studio Canal release coming on December 16th in the UK of Hitchcock: The Beginning. These all have brand new special features. They've got archival audio interviews, stills or lobby cards gallery on literally every film. This is a box set that includes The Ring, The Farmer's Wife, Champagne, The Manxman, Blackmail, the talkie version and silent version of Blackmail, Juno and the Paycock, Murder, The Skin Game, Rich and Strange, Number 17, and then Becoming Hitchcock. This is a brand new documentary that goes over the legacy of blackmail. So a little known filmmaker called Alfred Hitchcock. How do you feel about Mr. Hitchcock there?
Well, I don't know any of his stuff. No. This is an amazing set. I know we've seen a lot of these with really bad transfers
Yep.
on 20 to 50 disc like sets, like movie sets. But they have these all remastered with new features, with the book, with the poster, with all the stuff that's in there. This is a gorgeous thing that needs to be on my shelf next to my Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece collection.
It's a big one. I really hope that people take the time to look. If you've got the US releases and really love Hitchcock, this might still be one that you want because of how not great some of the transfers were, and then on top of that, some of them didn't have the right aspect ratio. Some of them, either way, just not real great. This is on sale right now for £100 from the UK, and that could come down a little bit. I'm not sure how much it's going to come down, but yeah, you might want to check it out. This is an interesting set.
It's the early era of Hitchcock, so just know that he hasn't really kind of in all these films found his voice at that point.
Too true. Interstellar is getting a 10-year anniversary limited edition release. This is coming from Paramount. No new bonus features on the disc, no new transfer, nothing like that. This is only if you are a giant fan of the film and want all these crazy things. They've got a reproduction of 5 of the costume patches that will be in this for you, 5 theatrical poster reproductions, and there is a never-before-seen storyboard sequence from the director's archives. If you love Interstellar, this is super nice. But for me, it's a lot of tat that I just don't need.
It is includes exclusive new special features. That it interests me because my better half's a massive Christopher Nolan fan. We actually got into 4K initially because Nolan's movies were coming out in 4K at the time. Though Interstellar, I'll be honest with you, is not my favorite Nolan film.
Did I read that wrong? It does have new special features. Let me look this up.
It says it has one. At least it includes exclusive new special feature.
Exclusive new special feature.
But it could be documentary, so it could be something big. But
I must have missed it. Let me take a look, see if I can find it. Oh, the new bonus features. The future is now a look back at Interstellar. That is the only thing. It's like a retrospective of it.
I don't know. I think I'm good with my 4K.
Yeah, I mean, if this didn't have everything extra and it was like a budget version with the new documentary, I'd be all about it. Something like a $15 or $20 release, even maybe. Radiance Films. We just had somebody ask you if you had any Radiance Films releases a minute ago. We're going to talk about their new announcements. There are a few of them here. The first one is January 27th in the UK and January 28th in North America. 1975's Weak Spot by Peter Fleischman. This is going to be a brand new 4K restoration from the original negative by Studio Canal. You've got a new audio commentary by Travis Woods, archival TV interview with Michael Piccoli discussing Weak Spot. Soundtrack expert Lovely John is on this to talk about the Ennio Morricone score, new subtitles, and then a booklet with new writing by Kat Ellinger. This is going to be a pretty awesome release, it looks like.
I hear such great stuff for Radiance. I don't have any of them yet myself, but I really want to grab some of their stuff.
They do great work.
I'm there for it. Well, I reached out to them when they were getting started. They were like, "Hey, we need people to review for us." And I'm like, "I'm in Morocco. I'll gladly review for you." And they did not get back with me. Just saying, they were not good to me.
I understand. Next one is Underground Beauty from 1958. This is the Seijun Suzuki title. The big thing here, brand new 4K restoration of the film by Nakatsu. New interview with Mizuki Kodama. The bonus feature, though, is where it gets special. Seijun Suzuki's Love Letter from 1959 is coming on HD. It's a 40-minute film. We got an audio commentary on that short by the Suzuki biographer William Carroll. There's also a booklet on this with new writing by Claudia Stephen Ledich, an archival review of the film. This looks beautiful. And if you love Suzuki, this is a little early Suzuki than most people love, but I'm very excited to see this release.
Same here. And by the way, God, their presentation is absolutely stellar.
I don't think there's been a single piece of cover art from Radiance where I even thought, that could be a little bit better. Every single one is pretty much the best possible thing that they could do.
Like, this really stands out.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And then the final new release announcement from them is a double feature. This one is coming in the UK only, no US release, of Il Posto and I Fidanzati. I am not Italian. I apologize. This is going to have a 4K restoration of both films from the OCN. This is also going to have an appreciation by a filmmaker on this, interview with the cinematographer, interview with an author, Richard Dyer, on the films, interview with a programmer on this, plus a brand new booklet with new writing by Christina Newland. Again, it's Radiance. I've not seen these films, but this sounds like a just absolutely lovely set.
It's a company that, from what I can tell and what I've seen so far, you can safely blind buy and actually have I got a good film in my collection.
Well, and I've talked about it on the show before, but not with you. So I'll bring up the man behind this is Fran Simeone, who used to be at Arrow, and from what we can see, a lot of Fran's choices are lining up with what Arrow Academy was doing for the longest time, and now they're not. How much do you miss some of those Arrow Academy releases?
You have no idea. I have like a bunch of Arrow Academy releases, and I did not know that. So that makes perfect sense for what we're seeing coming out here.
And yeah, both of these titles were Criterion DVDs, so it is possible these get Criterion Blu-ray releases in the States, and that's why this is UK only. But I mean, quite honest, I'd trust a Radiance disc over a Criterion disc most days of the week.
Especially when they do those like fold out like booklets that I hate so much that they've done recently.
Yeah. Well, if you are doubting Radiance at all, the last thing that we can talk about is the fact that their subscription is up for sale again. You can buy a January through June subscription for 2025, or you can go for the entire year. There is a special pre-order package on their website that you can get right now, and it is going to be able to come to you. You can get it in coming to you in 2025, and then they are also going to have a July to December package if you just get that 6-month package, so that you can get a full year still. But that'll come later, and it will be slightly less of a discount. So if you want the whole year and you can afford it, I mean, this is going to be the best time to do it by spending the least amount. Now, the interesting part, though, is with this, they announced that this package will include every new limited edition release, select additional items curated for members, which so far they've done like postcards, tote bags, a book, the Dirty Art House zines, a couple other things like that, and access to their Discord. But one thing you're going to have to choose when checking out is if you want Blu-ray or UHD. Now, they are, for the first time, announcing that next year they are releasing 4 titles on 4K. And they're going to average 4 titles per month when you start counting their box sets and stuff. And all of the things that they announced. We've got a Nagisa Oshima collection, 4 4K releases coming next year. And it says approximately. They could do more. They could maybe do less, but probably more. Further volumes of our most well-liked box sets, double bill collections, a new French Extremity UHD release, a 1970s horror masterpiece UHD release, 1970s Fantasy World debut on Blu-ray, a Palme d'Or winner, a Claudia Cardinal masterpiece, a time travel mindbender, a slow cinema masterpiece, a ghost story, a couple of serial killers, a samurai classic, a Sundance winner, a film on the Sight and Sound 2022 poll list, a 90s crime film by a celebrated American auteur, French crime classics, controversial classics from North America and France, Hong Kong classics, Dostoevsky, animation, films by Seijun Suzuki, and more. This is a massive tease from Radiance. There are so much on this list that's like, well, holy shit, do I want to subscribe right this moment.
Well, just confirmed another World Noir set, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be coming from them. I'm really curious about that French Extremity, what it could be. Because there's a couple, I've got a lot of them. There's a couple that are missing, so I want to know.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that this is it, but I would love to see a Radiance 4K release of Martyrs. Somebody giving that the academic sort of dissection that you really could give that film would be incredible.
That it needs it. I mean, Martyrs is one of those movies that I remember watching, and just like after it was over, like just sitting back in silence and just like, oh, I got to think about something. And talking with my oldest, my daughter, had watched it with me, and just discussing the movie for days. I absolutely adore that film. The remake, not so much, but the original.
David Holland is saying, didn't they tease Oshima and Buñuel? I did read Oshima. If I missed it, I apologize. I think I did. Buñuel is coming out in December, I believe, of this year. I'm not sure if something else is coming out next year, though. Excuse me. Without the twist ending, High Tension would have been awesome, but it already has a UK release, so that would not be one of the titles for sure.
It's a twist. I'll be honest. I'm a big fan of High Tension, and I think the twist ending is one of the things that makes High Tension what's High Tension.
Yeah, that's true.
Unreliable narrator, guys. Remember, when you start the movie, you start from her point of view, which actually kind of explains the things that kind of don't make sense later
on. Let's see. We have some questions about 29 Palms in the chat, thinking that might be a guess. 29 Palms was already released by Fractured Vision. Still in print. You can still get it from lots of places, by the way. Silvestri is saying $850 US, I believe, at 4 titles a month. That's only $17 a title. So if you have the money, that's a good time to buy it.
Price.
That's a great price. Yeah, Gary, I want to know what their animated title is going to be. That is super intriguing. All right, that is Radiance. Like I said, here's another release of Frankie Frico. This is coming from Scream Factory. This did not even get like a regular announcement. They didn't post this on socials as far as I'm aware. Or maybe they did, but it was after it was up on their website and I posted it. But it didn't come like with their normal monthly slate. This is coming on November 5th, so literally in less than a month already. And this is going to have a slipcover in the first press. It's got the audio commentary and the conversation and some other segments and a trailer, but the Raven Banner release still has more bonus features. So just saying.
I would go for the Raven Banner release over this one. And doesn't he look like Thomas Dolby? Like the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of like this cover art, but
I got the song Hyperactive stuck in my head right now.
Next one. This is an interesting one too. This wasn't announced with the regular Warner Archive announcements, but I went hunting and found this one. Warner Archive is releasing a Looney Tunes Collector's Choice 1 through 4 bundle on November 26th. This is coming out the same day that Volume 4 is coming out standalone. So this will just be to condense all 4 into one case. You know, if you already had 1 through 3, you're not missing anything by not getting this and just getting Volume 4. That being said, it would have been nice to know that this was coming and just be able to get this. However, if 1 through 3 didn't sell well, this might not have come out. So I understand some people are upset that they're not saving space. However, you did something well. You helped promote physical media, bought all of them. Nothing wrong with that. And now you got Volume 4, and you'll still have just the same amount as everybody else.
And I didn't get these 4, and I got all the other Looney Tune stuff. So this is actually a nice one for me because I'm a massive Looney Tune collector.
Yep. And again, the Volume 4, that's still going to be all brand new to HD. They've not been released in HD anywhere else, so it's still a big deal. This is not a release announcement. I had some people ask me about Barbarella. I just use this because I referenced it and referenced the review. I wrote a column for a website called Mighty Chroma. It is a column I wrote about supporting indie labels and indie companies overall, and wanted to let everybody know about Mighty Chroma. It is a company that they aggregate reviews so that if you are looking for to find out if a release is worth getting on 4K, they've got 4 or 5 different reviews that you can compare and see what like a summarized score would be on the video side, on the audio side, special features and everything. They try to let you know if it's true 4K or if it's from a 2K digital intermediate, whatever. They let you know about all the audio, answered very easily. They have not all of the titles, but a lot of them. And I'm probably going to be writing some more for this page. So let me know what you think. Yeah, this was fun. I hope people check this out. The Fall from 2006 is getting a 4K release in Australia from Umbrella. This will be coming next year. We don't know any details or anything. It'll be coming after a theatrical release. That being said, if you don't want to pay a lot for the Australian release, it is essentially confirmed that Mubi in the US is going to be releasing this on UHD as well. It'll likely get a 4K release in the UK. It could be Mubi there as well, or it could be someone else, but this is going to be a big title on 4K for 2025. Keep on the lookout for that. Have you seen this one, Aaron?
This one hit under my radar, obviously, because this cover is like baffling me. If I've seen it, I don't know. Is the cover representative of what the film is? Because right now it's not hitting me. Have you seen this one?
Yes. This is this is a weird word to use. This is a delicious film. This is a movie that is a visual wonder. It's a bit surreal. It's something that I think you would truly love. It's not an old film. This came out in just 2006, but it's one that the original Blu-ray in the States has always been, for some reason, like never goes on sale, always hovered around like $28 to $35. And so that's really turned a lot of people away. But the movie is fantastic. And I cannot wait for people to see this.
How did this slip by me? But I'm kind of glad. I love when there's a movie that slipped by me that I can actually watch for the first time. So,
yeah, this is a big deal for sure. Next is Kickboxer is getting a 4K steelbook from Lionsgate on December 3rd here in the US. This is going to be a brand new 4K restoration of the theatrical cut. You're going to have a 3-disc release here. Disc 1 is the theatrical cut on 4K. Disc 2 is the theatrical cut on Blue. Disc 3 is the international version on Blu-ray. For extras on this, we got a new audio commentary with the director and with Mike Leader with the director. We've got an audio commentary with David Worth, Haskell Anderson, and James Bennett. We've got an brand new interview with Jean-Claude Van Damme himself, interview with Michael Kesey, interview with actor Dennis Chan, interview with the DP, John Cranhouse, trailer, TV spot, all that fun stuff. This is a pretty nice looking steelbook. I like the art on this. This is one that I know a lot of people are super into. I've never been a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, but this is definitely like top tier Van Damme.
I almost picked this up. Well, not this one, but I almost picked up when I was in Spain a steelbook for a Kickboxer. which was absolutely gorgeous. I almost picked up like three actually Van Damme steelbooks. So this one is kind of interesting for me, but I don't know if I'll grab this release or I'll wait to see what comes out in Spain with because they do a lot of that. I had a film fall in my hands the other day, and I was like, oh, they were so sexy releases.
Yes, they are. What is next? Only a few left, I think. Indicator, another company that I know Aaron loves. We are getting all of these are January 20th and coming on Blu-ray in the UK only. No US releases this month. First one is Edge of Eternity from 1959. This is going to have an audio commentary with Jason A. Nye. Jose Arroyo is going to speak on Edge of Eternity, an in-depth appreciation by the writer and academic. New subs on this one, and then a booklet with new writing by Peter Cowie, an archival piece on the making of the film by the producer Kendrick Sweet, and then an extract from Don Siegel's autobiography and the film credits. Any thoughts on Edge of Eternity, Aaron?
I've seen it. This is one I've actually seen, unlike The Fall, which I kind of feel bad about now. But
no reason
I think
to.
that it's going to be a fairly it's an interesting month for Indicator, but I think like January, they know it's coming after December, so they're keeping things kind of like fairly light, no box set, just some regular titles.
Low key.
Yeah, very low key for January, which is a smart move, I think.
Yeah.
Because going into later on in the year, I'm sure Indicator is going to be putting out some more of those box sets that I just have to have.
Yes, indeed. I think this may be one that I've actually seen. A lot of these, unfortunately, start to blur together for me.
Tends to happen, man.
Yeah, it's especially from around this time. It's super easy to have these titles just sort of disappear in your brain. All right, going to their next one is Sahara with Humphrey Bogart. This one's going to have a commentary with C. Courtney Joyner on this one. We've got an appreciation by Ashan Koshbakht on this film. And there is, let's see, a documentary from 1942. It's a short on the work of the Detroit Tank Arsenal. I love some of these random things that Indicator finds and throws on these releases that are related, but also not fully related. They do great. And then there's a booklet in this, of course, with writing by Imogen Sarah Smith, who's amazing at everything she does. We got an archival interview with Kurt Kruger, and then an archival on-set profile of Humphrey Bogart. This is one I'm sure a lot of people will love and appreciate.
It is a classic, man. I love this film. And this is I love the cover of this, by the way.
Yeah, it's a really nice cover. Nice poster for sure. All right, the third one from Indicator this month is Shepherd of the Hills with the one and only John Wayne and Harry Carey and Betty Field. This one will have an audio commentary by Eloise Roz. We've got Bertrand Tavernier on the Shepherd of the Hills from 2017. We've got a booklet on this one by Rick Burin, an archival report on the film, and the source novel's Ozark setting. This is one I've definitely never seen. I don't love John Wayne, so I have no desire to see this.
you and my spouse. She's not a fan either.
I simply do not understand it.
This is one of, if I'm correct, I could be wrong. This is one of his earlier ones, right?
I mean, yeah, based on the timeline of it, yeah, I think so. This is 1941, so yeah, not much before that.
So yeah, this is like around the Musketeers time and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're a John Wayne fan, you're probably gonna love it.
True.
If you're not, you know.
Probably not. The last one, The Lives of a Bengal Lancer from 1935, getting even older. This one's got Gary Cooper in it, 4K restoration, original mono audio commentary by C. Courtney Joyner and Steve Latshaw on this one. There is a critical appreciation by Sheldon Hall, Lux Radio Theater, The Lives of a Bengal Lancer from 1939, the adaptation of this with Errol Flynn being a part of that. New subs, and then a limited edition exclusive booklet with new essay by Sam Wigley and some other extras. This is definitely one I've never seen.
Well, much like Sahara, this is a classic. So I think you're going to kick into this one. I love those Lux Radio adaptations, by the way. I love radio. So yeah, this is one that interests me as well. This is one that I definitely pick up.
Michael Smith says, "Hey, that's my favorite kind of Lancer." Next up, Immaculate getting a 4K release in the States on December 17th from Neon and Decal. This is one that a lot of people are upset about, and I totally get it. This came out just earlier this year on Blu-ray. They could have released it on 4K at the same time. It's already come out on 4K in Germany, but no, this is what they're doing. The hard part, this has new bonus features. We got a commentary on this one with the director, Michael Mohan. We've got Sydney Sweeney reading the Bible, Sydney Sweeney watching Immaculate with real pastors, and then some interviews with Alvaro Morte, Sydney Sweeney, Michael Mohan. I loved this movie. I
Me
definitely
too.
want the 4K, but that is some shady stuff from Neon. Just putting this out the same year for fun.
Kind of glad I didn't pick up the Blu-ray now. So yes, yeah. This one interests me a lot. I really did like this film a lot, actually.
I'm glad you saw it. It is definitely one that I'm glad I saw in the theater for this one too. Going to our next one, Kino is re-releasing on December 3rd The Train and the Taking of Pelham 123. What's interesting here is the only reason you might want these is if you didn't pick up the 4K releases they did of these, and you just wanted the restoration on Blu-ray because you didn't have the films, or you had the old copies that had the old restoration. These are the brand new restorations on Blu-ray by themselves without the 4K. So nothing new bonus feature wise, just the discs coming for those.
So for people that don't collect 4K, this is actually a good way to go.
That is the perfect way. Yeah. Last Christmas from 2019 getting a 4K release from Universal on November 5th. I haven't seen this, but I've heard this is actually a decent movie. I would be interested in seeing it once for sure.
Same here. I'm a sucker for this type of film. I'm not gonna lie. I do. These are kind of like the type of film that I will like my guilty pleasure watches. These and these Hallmark films and stuff like this. So
Well, that and Henry Golding could fucking like act the telephone book out, and I would just sit there staring at him. The dude has so much charisma.
yeah, I want to see this movie now.
Let's see. Going just a couple left, I think. February 11th. I forgot this title was here. Epic or Dread Pictures, who's a part of Dread Central, they are putting out Dick Dynamite 1944. This is from last year. And you got to hear what this film is. In the dying days of World War II, Nazi scientists hatch a desperate plan to turn the population of New York into flesh-eating zombies. The only man who can stop them is Dick Dynamite, a cigar-chomping, panzer-crushing, muscle-bound one-man army. Together with... Oh my gosh, I love this. Together with this colorful team is the line that they use right after they say one-man army. This one-man army, together with this colorful team of foul-mouthed mercenaries, Dick will have to kill his way through ninjas, cyborgs, bikers, mummified snipers, and everything else the German war machine, led by the heinous Colonel Maximilian Stacker, throws in his path. Killing is his business, and in 44, business is good.
Yeah, this sounds fun. Is it as fun as it sounds? Have you seen this one?
I have not. No. I don't know what it is. The Epic Pictures or Dread releases or whatever, I don't see them released anywhere else until they come out on Blu-ray. Sibner says, does that not look like AI Nicolas Cage at the top? It looks like something. I really want to know
like
what is going on with the side of that head. That's a hell of a jawline, is all I'll say.
It's like somebody saying, like, let's get Bruce Campbell, but not Bruce Campbell.
Let's get Loose Campbell. All right. Close to the end here now. Turbine Media over in Germany is releasing 3 films on 3D. They announced this special line they were going to be doing to keep 3D alive, and then they were silent for like the next 9 months. These are coming on Halloween Day, October 31st, and we are getting 3 very exciting titles: Mission Impossible Fallout, Migration, and Doolittle from 2020. 2 of these are good movies, and one of them has Robert Downey Jr. Migration is surprisingly fun. I'm glad that they're putting that out. But these are some odd choices for 3D.
I know. But how can you not love that cinematic classic? That's Doolittle. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to like Doolittle, by the way. I really, really did. But my dad will be really glad. My dad's a 3D collector, uh, and he'll probably even pick up Doolittle if the price is right. But the other two, yeah, good stuff. And if the 3D is really good, I might even look at Doolittle. There's not enough 3D coming out now.
Right. Eureka teased that coming in early 2025, they are releasing Laurel and Hardy: The Silent Years, 1928. I believe this is just to sort of announce to everybody, hey, don't go out and purchase the Flickr Alley version that they just announced. I'm glad they do that so that people don't get pissed off later when it gets announced. But yeah, more details to come early 2025.
I look forward to that.
And finally, the Stone Tape from 1972 coming to 101 Films UK as part of their Black Label on Blu-ray on December 9th in the UK. This is Nigel Neal's The Stone Tape from 72, released on Blu-ray for the first time, broadcast by the BBC on Christmas Day 72 to critical acclaim. The Stone Tape sees Neal employing his trademark fusion of science fiction and supernatural horror to terrifying effect and ranks among the legendary screenwriter's best work. A team of scientists eager to discover a new recording medium take over a brooding Gothic mansion recently purchased and renovated by their employers. On moving in, however, they find one room unfinished and the builders refusing to work there. Claims of strange noises and feelings of unease are dismissed. However, the scientists soon discover that the renovation work on the mansion has disturbed something hidden beneath the stone walls, something ancient and malevolent. This is going to have a documentary on the lasting legacy of the film. A short film on writer Nigel Neal called Out of Darkness, a visionary Manxman. Commentary with filmmakers John Deere and Sean Hogan. So I'll have one of their hard box releases, set of art cards, a script booklet, and then a booklet which includes Place Memory by Andy Murray and Weird Science, The Stone Tape at 50 by John Doran. There's also some archival extras, including another commentary, and that one will include Kim Newman and Nigel Neal. And they want to remind you that the Stone Tape was shot on videotape for broadcast, and the technical quality of this is not going to look the best in HD. It's literally an upscale from a shot on video version. So approach that with some empathy and kindness.
The Stone Tape is one I really, really love. I'm a massive Nigel Neal guy. He's my jam. I'm glad this is one of the hard box sets because this is definitely going to go right next to Ghostwatch, which is another great 101 Films release.
Yep.
That if you haven't seen it, please do so. This is one that I really enjoyed as a kid, and I'm really excited to get this one.
TB is saying it's streaming on Shudder if you haven't seen it yet, and remembers it looking pretty good there. It's a good tip. I wish I had Shudder to watch that right now. I might have to get it for a month. There's a couple things I want to watch.
It's like that Kino release that came out recently, those Ghost Story one, with those 5 like films that have not been seen since they came on in the 1970s, which is utterly amazing. That's one that I'm actually looking forward to getting when I go back.
Yeah,
home.
and commentaries with Amanda Reyes on all of them, like that's a win.
Amanda Reyes, I love Amanda Reyes. She just does the great work when it comes to this. I'm a massive like TV movie guy. I grew up that era, and it's so good to see so much of that coming out right now.
Well, speaking of things coming out right now, in case you forgot, next Tuesday is a biggin. We've got Nightmare on Elm Street 4K coming. The Project A collection 4K from 88 Films has been making its way to everybody already. Supposedly, the limited edition on this one is already close to selling out, so keep an eye on that if you were after it and don't have it on order yet. To Catch a Thief from 4K from Paramount, supposedly from the same scan, but there's been some different restoration work. Hopefully, they actually made it look decent this time. Land of the Dead 4K from Scream Factory. Brick 4K from Kino coming after being announced, 3.5 years ago. Cowboys and Aliens 4K from Kino. The Thanksgiving 4K Steelbook. The Ring from 2002 getting a standalone 4K Steelbook. Pandora's Box from Criterion. Demon Pond 4K from Criterion. American Movie coming on 4K. Prairie Home Companion getting its Blu-ray release from Warner Archive. The Bat from 1926. That's the one that's reviewed in the newest Physical Media Advocate. That's coming from Undercrank. The Demon getting a standalone release from Severin, Nine Queens from Sony Pictures, The Crown, the complete series, Allison's Birthday getting a standard release from Severin as well, Garbo Talks and Cross Creek from Kino. If you want to spend $300 on a plastic chainsaw, you can get one from Dark Sky this week. Secret Ballot from Sony, Model House coming as well. Some other standard releases from Radiance, and that's about it. What's exciting you from this next week there, Aaron?
I really interested to find out if the audio cues are back for the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K, because I know that there's been a bunch. Are they all back?
I think there's one missing. It's when the jail sale closes, something like that. Everything else is in place. Which
so when he pulls Nancy into the questions, oh, perfect. Okay, that really brings it up for me. Obviously, American movie, I kind of made a big thing for that one there. Cowboys versus aliens, no. Nope. I think we got a Blu-ray, and I bought that for him, and that's where that's staying. But the Bat, and if I want to find out more about that, I go to Physical Media Advocate to get more information. There we go. Because that is definitely an interesting one as well.
It's a pretty big week next week. There's a lot of big stuff. Nightmare on Elm Street, the restoration is supposedly a winner. That's the big thing that people are excited for. And I saw the 4K restoration in the theater 2 or 3 Octobers ago now, and it looked great in the theater. So I knew that it was going to be good. Very, very excited to see it on disc again, though.
American movies I'm just so happy that's getting a 4K release.
Yeah. All right. Now, the fun stuff, as if all of that wasn't fun. We are here to talk about purchasing physical media in other states. Aaron's going to hit on doing it in person, since he's had the fortune to be able to do that quite a bit. I'm going to talk on some tips and things that I've learned along the way. But Aaron, let's get into it. You are living in Morocco. You are from Canada. You've been to France. You've been to Spain. You've been to the UK. You've been a world traveler and try to buy stuff everywhere. Tell us about it.
Well, next year I'm doing Italy in March, so it's going to be interesting to go there, because my grandfather on my dad's side, that's where he was stationed at in World War II. So it's going to be kind of cool to get there. For me, this is how it happened. I was just getting stuff from Canada most of the time. I was taking a trip to France for my birthday, and I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she's like, you can try to find a movie there, but you only find stuff in French. And was an offhand joke, but to me that became a challenge. I'm like, okay, I'm going to see if there's something out there. So I started looking, and in the same way that you look when you're looking for like places, going trips, and places to eat, I started looking around, and I found that there was this place called Metaluna that would have all the different companies. Yeah. So I went there, found that just around the corner there was this massive movie shop called Gabert Joseph, and they were like a chain shop. And I went to Fnac, which is like HMV, and I go to Spain to go to CX, go to Fnac, and I look around. I'm finding releases for things that I didn't know existed, boutique labels that I didn't know existed. And I think the best way to kind of start is to show you some stuff that I was able to pick up. So in France, there's a company called Extra Lucid. And in 2020, they started Extra Lucid, Extra Cult, which was like cult films. And the first one that they did was Death Warmed Up, which is, of course, the first New Zealand splatter film. And this was put out by Severin, but this release, I'm sorry, is just so much sexier with the way that it's done. And the neat thing about that is he did another film called Wound, Beware the Beast, and it had both of the films in there, including there's a big kind of booklet on that cinema Blu-ray DVD. This is a region-free release, by the way. And since I was there, I wanted to pick up a couple of other releases. I didn't have Seizure yet, so I grabbed that. And they were doing, the one that got me interested in them was they had put out some Argento stuff. Ooh. And this is a card player. And it was one of those that I used to go back and forth on. This movie actually made me love the card player a lot more. But what kills me, Ryan, is Stendhal syndrome was there, with a release like this. And I'm like, okay, I'll pick this up later. It sold out. It had an exclusive Isaiah Argento documentary on it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I need that so bad. So I'm really hoping that that it comes back. But this is, again, it's a gorgeous release. This is a hard box set. Passes the knock test, as Steph would say. And the booklet. And I love the artwork on the inside.
Nice. Yeah, that's some great art for that film.
France is really big when it comes to physical media. When I was going around, I could see people like really excited, like picking things up. There was a big new edition of Last House on the Left that came out that week, and people were grabbing that like crazy. Also, I had to pick up this, which I think you'll appreciate. It is Targets.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And this was put up, I think it was by Carlotta. Yeah, it was put up by Carlotta. And they do like a lot of these really kind of cool releases. And they do ones with like with kind of like hardcover like books in it as well. This one here has a reproduction of the letter that Peter Bogdanovich sent to Alfred Hitchcock when he was going to put this out. So it's part of their their premium line, and it's like art cards and a lot of cool stuff on the inside for this one right here. But the one that I really got stoked about, the one that like really kind of like, because I love werewolf movies, which you're gonna find out stuff, is this American Werewolf London release.
That's good.
Was limited to 1,981 because 1981. It is one of my favorite releases. It's what they call a prestige release. It came with this massive book. It came with this lenticular card where you,
nice.
I can see with the light here, but it's the it's got the change like where it changed to the werewolf. Coasters, poster, and an SFX book with Rick Baker. And this is the 4K release, by the way. So it had the 4K and Blu-ray there as well. I am not fluent in any other language except for English. I'm learning French now, and I'm finding that I'm learning a bit of Spanish too. I just recently watched today, again, Who Could Kill a Child? And that release has it done so that when they're speaking in Spanish, there's no subtitles. Because you're supposed to feel, that's the way the movie was meant to be. You're supposed to like feel as isolated as the people in the film. And I'd never seen it like that. There's always subtitles when I'd seen the film before. So watching it without the subtitles gave more of like just a really, it was a different experience. Another company that was big for me, I recommend when you're going around places like this, if you're going to another country, like look at a time. There's a lot of great places that you'd be surprised, like have physical media. If your Fnac is big in Europe, if you see that, huge. Like go there. It's like HMV, and they have amazing stuff. This is a French company.
By the way, Fnac you can buy online, and they do ship worldwide.
Do they really? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's right there. And this one here is Remini. It's Magic, and I love this movie. I'm a massive Anthony Hopkins fan.
It's a great
movie. And this is one of my favorites. But that's one of the standard editions. Or the Remini limited edition, it looks like is this one right here. I did not know this movie existed. So this is The Cat and the Canary by Radley Metzger. And I was like, Radley Metzger? Because when you think of Radley Metzger, you don't think this. But this is not that. This is old school Hitchcock, Agatha Christie style stuff. There's not a raunchy film. It's got Honor Blackman, Michael Callahan, Edward Fox, Olivia Hussey, Carol Lindley. It is The Cat and the Canary. It's the classic story. It is gorgeously done. They do their releases extremely well. Because I kind of expect, I said, is this going to be like Cat and Canary with like in a softcore manner?
Right.
But no, it's not actually. It's just you could watch this with your grandparents actually. Mine are sadly not around, but it's the old school type of stuff. And I love this type of stuff. So that's big over in France. One of the biggest things in France and Germany is this right here. Oh, do you like Italian films? dude, open up to the Italian side, are media books, which you know a lot about.
Media books
This
are
is the
incredible.
Land of the Dead release, and this one came out from I think it's Wild Side. Yeah, Wild Side. Uh, I'm a big fan of this movie. I have a autographed uh, autograph from Arrow from this one, and the Wild Angels. Now I have the T-shirt, but understand like with some of these here, the features are going to be like in another language. So
Right.
like always like know that when you go into some of these releases. Now this one here has a documentary on Roger Corman that's 80 minutes long, and that documentary is in English. However, this release in particular speaks over in French, so you cannot
Oh.
hear in English, which I hate. Like it's the only time I've ever seen it happen. But be aware. Now,
See, before you keep going, that's one thing I was going to ask tonight for sure, because you are certainly more well versed in some of these that are more obscure than I am. Are there any like patterns that you found through specific countries, not necessarily companies, but like France? They historically don't do a lot of English subtitles. Most of the French releases have no English subtitles. Germany, however, they do a lot with English subtitles. They're quite a bit different in that way.
they do well for French boutique labels. It really depends.
Right.
Uh, you'll get a lot more on the boutique labels. Now, there is a French film critic, and he has his own kind of sub label. And for him, like if it's a French film, you're not going to get like a lot of like English on there. But the good thing is like they will always let you know like ahead of time whether it's done in French or English, and I always check that. And they'll let you know a lot of times. So I didn't look on here. What's if it says VOST, like then that's usually means it's a voiceover, which is what that documentary had. So voiceover in French, but that's rare now. Though there are featurettes that have been like I've watched in Spanish, and I didn't understand what was being said, but that didn't stop me from actually really enjoying the featurettes. I'm like watching them, and there's a couple that I'll mention that I watched over and over again. I got to be careful with these next ones because these are German media books, and if you know what that means, then you know what that means.
Lots of
Um,
nipples.
yeah, this was good though. This was a movie, and I'm going to be honest with you. This was a movie that I was not a massive fan of when it initially came out. This was Headhunter, but this here release of it, you got to watch with my kitty cat there, is a Spooky Stories German release. And what that meant was that it said it would have another film. So you got Headhunter right here. It's the original artwork. And on the back, when you open it up, there's another film. And you don't know what the film is before you pick it up.
Oh, interesting. So are they random, or does every one of this get that same film?
Oh, everyone will have the same film. So,
Okay.
but you want to get the Spooky Stories releases to get the extra film. Like sometimes they'll give you like a hint, but this one's pretty cool. One of them we'll see has a Ryan Reynolds film. I'm not joking. The biggest one and the one that got a lot of gotta move that coverage, like on Twitter, was Pin.
Yeah.
This was a great film. I love this movie. This is a Canadian film, guys. It's a
Canadian.
wonderful release. And people like ragged on this one initially because Brian from Just a Disc asked me. He said, is this worth getting? So I turned it on, and the opening was a little soft, and then it gets really good. The quality of this one's actually excellent. And this is one of my favorite movies. This one is has a Ryan Reynolds Frankenstein film, which is kind of is different, but it's a cool release.
Pin actually got a standard edition from that same company, and you can
It
find
did.
that Blu-ray sometimes on Orbit DVD if you're in the States, by the way.
I helped Orbit and Diabolic DVD sell out of that. Okay, here's one I gotta careful. What? Zipper Face.
That's a big one, yeah.
I love this movie. It is insane, man. Have you seen this?
I have. Zipper Face is a fun one.
It is. This art. I can show you this artwork. It's actually not bad. So look at this. That has some amazing artwork in here for Zipper Face.
Yeah,
And
very stylish movie.
to show you that I can be classy. Yeah, this is a French one, and it's from a special collection there. This is the horror hotel release that they put out,
Nice.
and I'm a massive fan of like folk horror.
Yeah.
So these type I always grab. So there you go, City of the Living Dead card. But I wanted to show you some of the media books.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
Another one that when I went to Spain, I went to a CEX and I saw this right here, a Boss Lobo, and I'd seen this movie because it's about this serial killer that like thinks he's a wolf, like this werewolf. So he thinks a werewolf film, but he kind of thinks he is. It's a really good film, and I opened it up, and it had this like book with it. But this was what really caught me. I had this little ticket, and I wonder what it was. I was like, "What is this?" Uh, it's like number 50. So this one had 66 copies. It's 50 of like I think 66.
That's the number for the limited edition.
Yeah,
Nice.
and all the Fancy Terror releases are like that. I have one standard edition release, Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, which is one of Nashi's best. The Giallo stuff thinks it is his best Giallo. Such a good release. Such a good release. On a lot of their releases too, by the way, the first one didn't have it, but they will have alternate artwork and a whole bunch of like things that'll kind of like go back to like to VHS. So when they put out things like Exorcismo from Nashi, which again I love this movie and really fantastic Nashi worth checking out, then it had the short story that he wrote.
Wow.
For there, and as always, they put this alternate artwork that make it look like a VHS release.
Yep.
And this one was number 52.
Sweet. The release of Pin. Do you happen to know the company that put that out? I just tried to look it up, but
I can find it for you. Actually, Pin was released by.
It's a German release.
Is that Film Mode Entertainment Screen Media? WMM?
Okay.
Because there's so many names on there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But this is one of my favorite companies to collect right now.
Yeah, that's nice.
Also grabbed Human Beasts from them as well. And I was in there, and it's one of my favorites. So I got this DVD of Nashi. And yeah, that's because this is so gorgeous.
It's good art. When the company is focused on putting like the very nostalgic art on there, it's always super nice.
They like this is what they do is this Spanish horror, and it's not all Nashi stuff. They do like a lot of different stuff, and it's really, really well done. So when I see a company that puts in that much love and passion to that, I truly, truly love those films. Pin, by the way, was based on a book by an author that would later go on to do V.C. Andrews after V.C. Andrews passed away. He became the like ghost writer for those. His name is Andrew Niederman, and he's a Canadian.
Nice.
Have you seen this?
I think I have. Yeah, I've heard of it.
This is the Psycho 2 release from Real One in Spain. This is the thing that geeks me out. This is the thing I love so much. So this one I will show. So this is cool. This is the there you go.
Oh wow.
Poster on the other side.
Nice.
There's a bunch of like art cards and stuff like that. But the one that matters to me is this right here.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
When I saw that, I was like, there is no way in hell I'm coming home without like a Bates Motel. And this does have, by the way, for those that remember the Psycho Legacy documentary that came out from Shout Factory, that's included on here.
DVD only from Shout Factory.
As a bonus feature on this one. Now that is still though this is Blu-ray. There's never been like a Blu-ray release for Psycho Legacy, so that will be standard definition.
Was it on Blu-ray in the big German set that they put out?
On Blu-ray, yes, but
It might have only
HDMI
been
as well.
standard. Yeah.
It was still standard def. Um,
Hmm.
Hopefully one day we'll get like this, a HD version of that one. But
Well, the hard part is who the director of that documentary is might not.
I was trying to go around the thing. I was trying to be politically correct with that. Yeah, it's gonna be the hard part of that one. But yeah, this is a favorite of mine, and I showed this one before. But they do a bunch of these digibooks. This is La Residencia, which is of course the house that screamed with Lily Palmer. I think 1968, 69, somewhere around there. It was a fantastic film. Periodo Durango. This was the first digibook I ever picked up in Spain, and look at this. This is so gorgeous.
It's nice.
I love me some Nashi.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's a double feature. It's got two of his best films: "Where First the Vampire Woman" and Night of the Werewolf." We have this here showing all of his work movies,
Nice.
which was fantastic. And you'll find, I'm going to mention something here that's going to be over here. One of the things you have to be careful for when you go to areas like Spain is there is a law in Spain that was meant to put out to protect people that were making films in Spain. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And that they're not black market titles, but they're called gray market titles. So they're legal, but it's a lot of times it's stuff that's literally been taken from like
They're
prints of other
bootlegs, basically.
so here most of them are done with regular discs, but every once in a while, like this one right here, was done with a BDR. So, and it will tell you on the back, so there's no guesswork. No, this one's not the BDR. Actually, where's the BDR one? Oh, there we go. Oh, there it is. The Deadly Spawn. You can tell it looks a little bit like kind of
Photocopied.
quality is fantastic on all the releases, but it's good to know like a lot of these won't have a ton of features because they'll be the films themselves. Like for instance,
Oh yeah.
I still got to pick up that 4K release, and because this one does not have a Blu-ray release anywhere else, and this is an utterly fantastic copy of it. Now, who's that girl?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was really excited to see this one because both me and my better half actually, we unapologetically love this film,
Right.
and I love this white case too.
It's a nice case.
But they put out a lot of stuff that I didn't expect to see. Watchers, I managed to grab there, and The Prophecy, which had just gone out of print. Stepfather, which now has a 4K. Moon and Scorpio, which put me to sleep 3 times and I haven't got through it yet. Because I needed the Blu-ray.
I've got the German one of it, the one that they did that was uncut.
Yeah, this is the uncut one, and this one has the features too from the Canadian Blu-ray. So it was kind of neat to see that. Those are some of the stuff that I've picked up. When you're looking through other countries, you can find stuff that you can't find on Blu-ray or elsewhere, or stuff that's long and out of print. One of the neat things too is they work with Studio Canal and places like that to put out these sets. So this is an Agatha Christie set, and they put out like Murder on the Orient Express. These are all the Studio Canal prints of it too, like Evil Under the Sun, Death on the Nile, The Mirror Cracked, and Endless Night. So what a wonderful set that was. And my favorite thing I picked up, I think, from Span this time was this right here.
Oh, interesting. What's on that?
So this is a 4-disc like Buster Keaton set from 1917 to 1929. What's really cool about this is he worked a lot with Fatty Arbuckle. And of course, there was a Fatty Arbuckle scandal where even after Arbuckle ended up getting exonerated, his career was gone. That was like, there was no coming back. So this here, actually, the first disc of this one is all Fatty Arbuckle shorts. And it's genius. Like, it is utterly genius. Most hilarious set that I picked up, which I do want to show, is, okay, so this has some really cool sci-fi stuff. We got Universal Soldier, Capricorn 1, Saturn 3, Zardoz, and The Invasion, The Recall. So you've got Universal Soldier, classic. Capricorn 1, which just got a recently big
Classic,
release.
yeah.
And this random Wesley Snipes film that makes no sense. I'm like, wonderful to have an extra film. I'm almost done here with these releases, but just had to pick up the Apple. Gotta love you some Golden Globus insanity.
Well, and even now, like the Scorpion release of that is getting kind of hard to find for anybody that wants it.
I was the remake trilogy, and I thought they were really good with Sarah Butler. I love the red cases, the way that these were done, and
Goes well together.
I'm not sure if you're a fan of these or not, but actually, I thought they were good. Like the third one kind of brings it to like a needed conclusion, and if I've got extra red cases, if ever I get a select one where a slasher one that doesn't have one of the red cases.
True.
And because everybody's talking about the new one now.
Special Terrifier release.
I gotta. Are you a fan?
Yes and no. I'm not as gung ho as everybody about it. I think they are worth seeing. I'm excited to see part 3. I don't know. That's some good art, I gotta admit.
The neat thing was that they had a bunch of like extras in here, including like they had a poster, they had the art cards, they had this Art the Clown sticker.
Nice.
And the soundtrack, which is really, really underrated. If you ever get the chance to listen to the soundtrack for Terrifier 2, it is so good. It is like one extremely underrated soundtrack for horror films. I'm not massively into a lot of the overly gore stuff, but I do think that film has been able to kind of just do the gore and still have as of part 2, have more of a story to it, whereas part 1 I still think is
part 1 there was no plot.
not at all. All Hallows Eve I still want to see like
a
good one of, because I like that actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of worried about Terrifier 3, to be honest with you.
I mean, people I trust, like if everybody loves Dustin, who was on this channel just a few weeks ago, he tends to review pretty much everything he sees. While we were recording this, he went and posted that he really enjoyed Terrifier 3, and it got a good 3 out of 4 stars for him.
It's just the gore part. I know I'm gonna like the film. It's just certain gore scenes I got to get through, because I'm like, I was watching like the bedroom scene in part 2, right? And I'm like, I might have to go get a drink. I might wimp out of bed.
Maybe some mashed potatoes.
Oh no. Oh. But yeah, I do. I kind of want to get an Art the Clown T-shirt when I get back to Canada, and I think this Spencer's has like a bunch of stuff. So
he is everywhere now. He is clearly the next Freddy. Obviously, he has taken off, and it's wild that he has permeated everything.
Well, it's like when like Kane Hodder became, Jason. Like he really kind of like embodied Jason. David Howard Thornton like embodies Art the Clown and brings it to another level.
Yeah. So like I said, I was going to share some tips for shopping for overseas stuff if you are not going to be traveling in person. The one that I find most common that people don't know about is obviously when you're, if I'm buying direct from one of these labels like Finac from France, or I'm even going to something like Second Sight or Eureka or something like that. If you buy from the US, you get charged foreign transaction fees on the card that you're using. The thing that I have found that most people don't realize, if you use a Capital One card, whether it's a credit card or you have a bank account through them, you use their debit card, Capital One does not charge foreign transaction fees. That is one of their perks. So you're saving on every single one of those releases like 2 or 3% right there. That is a big, big difference for a lot of people.
It is, and I got to put this out there while I remember this actually, because I would forget. If you are traveling like in Europe and you're buying a bunch of films, don't forget to ask them for the VAT sheet, because they'll give that to you. And when you go to the airport, you give that sheet and you get back all the VAT tax that you paid, which can be significant. When my last trip to Spain, I think I got back around like 50 or 60 euros. So
Oh,
it
wow.
wasn't a little amount.
I had no idea that. Yeah, that's impressive. So like I said, yeah, debit card or credit card, and you can get a Capital One bank account for next to nothing. And if you're going to make a purchase, just transfer your money over to that debit account, and then use the debit card to purchase from overseas, and they don't charge you the foreign transaction fees. On that note, one of the things to save you money, don't forget, Eureka does not charge shipping worldwide. People do not know that. Every time I say that, there's at least one person that says, "What? That's crazy." And it's true. You can buy a single title from Eureka and not pay for shipping, which is crazy. They put out great titles, they package well, and they will not charge you shipping. I don't know how they're doing it. They must have some special deal or tax break or something. That is crazy pants that they still do that.
It's awesome, and they put out like sales every once in a while too with Eureka.
Yep. They're doing a horror sale right now since it's
Yep.
October. Look at that. Wave says just bought from Eureka today and they didn't charge shipping. Exactly. The other big thing I mentioned earlier, this is something that I was definitely going to say to watch out for, but we did kind of broach it already. Subtitles. If you don't speak any other language besides English, a lot of these are daunting. That being said, a lot of them still have English subtitles or they're English films, and they're going to be played in English. You can still watch the film just fine. That being said, most of them will not have English subtitles. However, there's a caveat to that. French films, they rarely have English subtitles. Keep that in mind. If you're buying from France, you're usually screwed. But with Germany, they don't usually advertise that there's English subtitles. However, there usually are English subtitles. Contractually, there's not supposed to be, but quite often they put them on the disc anyways because they know that they have a lot of people that speak English that are buying them and that will want the subtitles. They just sneakily do it and don't tell you that they have it.
Spain is the same way. Like, you can pretty much be certain that there's going to be subtitles when it comes to a Spanish release.
With the gray market titles that Aaron was talking about, it is a problem with Spain, it's a problem with Italy, and it's a big problem in Germany. And a lot of these, they're going to look like they're a press disc, so it's not going to look like a bootleg. However, if it means a lot to you on the ethics side of things to make sure that it's a licensed title properly and all that, there's a lot of straight bootleg titles coming out of Italy and Spain and Germany. And that doesn't mean that they won't have special features or special packaging or look good, because they probably still will. However, many of them are just flat out bootlegs.
And the thing is, like, it's not illegal to do that. So you will actually see
Right.
them in stores, not just like at a secondhand place. So it'll be packaged the same as any other release will be. Though that being said, if you go by like some of the bigger like boutique labels, you're good, you're safe. You go by like
Yep.
Remni or Fantatea or anything like that. Those are all like ones that are just straightforward. Most of the gray market titles now aren't done by boutique labels or done by actual labels. So one of the quickest ways to see a gray market title is to pick it up and realize, hey, this has absolutely no company branding at all. A lot of the stuff that I just showed you there that was gray market had no company branding. This one right here, it's like, look, it's from nowhere. Nobody. Like really nobody put this out. It's just there's no branding.
If
It's
you know
nothing.
something is a Paramount title and it doesn't have the Paramount logo, it's a
Yeah.
gray market title.
And it's like gray market stuff isn't just something that like hits in the movie industry. It's something that like it happens a lot for like automobiles and other electronics as well. So
Video
it's
games, comic books, a lot of
video
stuff.
games is one of the really hard ones. That's one of the ones where it gets really iffy, especially if you're like collecting like Pokemon or any of that type of stuff. You got to be really careful. You got to open up those cards, by the way, guys.
This is true. The other, biggest thing, I know this is common sense for a lot of people, but keep in mind too, a lot of these places overseas, they do have free international shipping thresholds. They're just high. So like if you want to buy overseas and the shipping is the one thing that's keeping you at bay, if it's not something limited that won't in the next month sell out, if it won't sell out in the next 30 days or whatever, wait until you have 4 or 5 titles that will reach you to that free shipping threshold and then purchase. I know that it seems like a long wait sometimes, but if it'll take you to that 200 euro or 250 Australian, whatever the market is that you're in, there is a free shipping threshold usually.
I'm I buy a lot from London, because it's just I can get it shipped easily. But it is so good to be able to buy some of the stuff that I didn't know existed. If you are a fan of the Spanish stuff, I'm really going to recommend Fanatera. I will put the caveat that the special features will always be in Spanish. Uh, but if you don't mind that, they have some of the best prints for these releases, and just utterly gorgeous stuff. And they'll be like the uncut prints, which is great because you find so many that are cut. And I would say if you're a fan of Mondo Macabro, which is one of my faves, then this is the like okay, I've seen what Mondo Macabro's given me. There's so much more that's out there, and just so many different releases. Hell, I didn't know Radley Metzger would make a film that didn't have people naked in it, but hey, he did. So that's always a good thing. And it was a really good film too. But it was like a TV film. It was a really good
There's a
film.
Radley Metzger film right there, I think, actually.
Which one is that?
I've got a couple up there. It's some of the Cult Epics releases. They got quite a few of his.
Love myself some Call Epic stuff. They are so good. They're so underrated as a company, by the way.
They truly are. Yeah, absolutely. One more thing that I was going to say is Amazon from other companies is a really good way to get these. Primarily, big
Yes.
shout out to Amazon Italy. If you don't pay attention, Italy gets releases that we can only dream of in the US.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean,
Gorgeous.
the biggest
Some of them are
one.
expensive, but gorgeous.
We talked about Apple TV earlier. If you want Killers of the Flower Moon on physical, the only place to get it is Italy. And Amazon Italy, you can get a 4K of Killers of the Flower Moon right now. It'll be shipped to your house for like $30 US, $33 US, something like that. Not that expensive. They also put out Coda, the Oscar winner from a handful of years ago. You can get that from Amazon Italy. Most of the time, the shipping is fairly inexpensive because Amazon has a monopoly on literally everything in the world. It is a really great way to get some of these titles. I have a few friends that are trying to be complete on the Oscar eligible titles or Oscar winners or people that were nominated for Best Picture. And for some of these, they just simply don't have a US release and probably won't. And as we enter into that streaming world where all of these different services have a stranglehold on many of these, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better, I don't think.
Now's the time to have like a reach and free player.
Yeah.
But because there's so much great stuff out there, and like there's a $300 like Texas Chainsaw Massacre set that's coming out this week, right? But there's been so many like really cool releases like that Germany put out. The one that looked, did you remember this one looked like a board game?
Yep.
And it had like the NECA action figure and all this stuff. And it was incredible. And it was like way cheaper than that. Now this week, in Italy, Deliria, which is Stage Fright, is coming out with a very special like 4K release and includes an LP soundtrack of it, and it's insanely like it's a big expensive release, but it is gorgeous, and I want it so bad.
There is, I believe in Italy, it's been either confirmed or hinted or something strongly like that, that Fright Night 2 is going to get a big HD release here finally. It's either that or 4K, and I think it was supposed to be packaged in. It's a different company, but they have sort of the same name. It's Raro, but I don't think it's films. It's like Raro Cinema instead of Raro Films, like the one we have here. I think they're doing one of their big like premium style box sets where it's got 4Ks of the first film, a Blu-ray of the second film, a bunch of like paper tat and a bunch of other stuff thrown in the box, but it's supposed to be really nice.
I need that. I was looking for because Fright Night 2 is on Blu-ray and in Spain and of course and so I was looking for it like crazy, but it was sold out. It's hard to find now, even over there. It was at a CX, and when I got to CX, it was just CX was like closing in 10 minutes, and it apparently had sold like 10 minutes before I got there.
Oh, jeez.
And he said it's rare that we get it in anymore, but so.
Obviously, the biggest tip is to make a lot of friends. If you are somebody that is part of a community, like if you hang out here every week, we have people in a lot of countries all over the world. reach out to people, find somebody that you can become friendly with that will let you ship stuff to their house, and then they can ship it to you. Because there's people in the UK, for example, that can get HMV exclusives, and HMV doesn't ship outside the UK. So if you ship to somebody in the UK and then you will ship stuff to them from the US, you got a perfect partnership. You might as well spread some of that love.
It's true. And when I was in Canada, actually, when that Black Christmas one that I mentioned before came out, I sent out like around like eight copies of that to different people in the United States that were looking for it. Were friends of mine. And same thing happened when the Trailer Park Boys movie came out. Actually, I had a bunch of people that wanted that because it was in the United States at the time.
The Trailer Park Boys.
Their Christmas special is still one of the Christmas specials I have to watch every year.
Nice, very nice. It's October, my friend. What are you watching for horror season before we call it a night?
I went international this year. Surprise, surprise. I've been watching a lot of Spanish horror. I've watched a lot of the nasty stuff. I watched Who Could Kill a Child today, and I've been trying to go into a lot of that. Now, that being said, I've been watching a few festival films. Things Be Different, Falling Stars. Falling Stars needs a release, man. That so needs a release. I got to see a couple of documentaries. One that I did not know I was going to like so much because I got had an agent reach out to me and said, "Do you want to see a documentary on two like country western singers from Swaziland going to do a music competition in Texas?" And I'm like, I don't know, just let me see. And it was friggin' great, man. I was like, holy crap. And the music was like kind of the old school, like, I don't know if anybody here likes country, but the way, like, because it's Swaziland, so that's South Africa. And I did not expect them to be like that, to have that, but they had to like kind of that George Jones kind of era country down.
Vance wants to know if you've seen The Coffee Table yet.
Coffee table? I have not. Well, I have. I used to have a coffee table. I saw a coffee table once as I fell towards it and it broke and hurt my hand. But I have not seen the movie The Coffee Table. No.
We were talking about in the chat earlier. From what I remember, I think Second Sight had the theatrical rights to it. I'm still hoping they put that out on Blu-ray or 4K. It's supposed to be really great. I think it came out last year or the year before. It was another one of those festival movies, and it's supposedly pretty brutal horror.
I would love to. I mean, like we have a festival here that goes on at the end of November, early December, called the Marrakesh Film Festival, and it was started by Scorsese and a bunch of guys like that. So we get a few things here. The first year I was here, I got to see Marlowe before it came out, and a few others. Recommendation: Mother of All Lies. If you have not seen that yet, that's hitting theaters right now, I think. Absolutely fantastic documentary, actually shot in Morocco. And I interviewed the director, and she is going to be going places. She just has this visual style that is absolutely amazing. And apparently, Scorsese is super high on her, so that's always a plus.
Nice. Yeah, lots of great things happening this year. I had somebody mention to me this week that it's been a not great year for movies, and I had to remind them, well, I mean, award season's just starting. Like, a lot of the biggest films have not even been released yet, and it's about to be
trust me, guys, it's been way better than you realize, because there's so much stuff, so much great stuff kind of just that we're just going to be seeing soon. It's just so much.
Aaron, before I say my last thing, anything else you want to share with the group? I definitely want to say thank you for hanging out tonight.
It's been a blast. It's been too long, but I know you are super busy, and I really appreciate it, because it's always a blast coming on here and chatting with you. It really seems like when you have a friend and you haven't spoken to them in a while, and you just automatically can have that kind of flow and chat again. That's how it feels like when I'm talking to you, man. I'm going to be reviewing Shadowland next week, which is an insane documentary with Richard Stanley and a bunch of other people that, well, they might be kind of magic. They might be like chaos magicians. It'll be interesting. And I'll be doing I did a video on Siskel and Ebert, which I finished and didn't like. So I'm reshooting it and rewriting it. But what I'm doing now is for some stuff that I do and I don't particularly feel really great about, or that's finished. I'm doing a series on my channel called Rejected, where I put out videos that I'm not wasn't totally great with, and I'll just say, okay, this is the version that did make the cut, and I'll put that out there, and with sometimes with like introduction or commentary or something in between to give a different like feel to it.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm trying to do something different.
Good.
It's been almost 13 years, so I'm trying to keep things fresh. And I want to thank everybody that came in and tonight and just had so many wonderful things to say. You guys are awesome. I'm so grateful for all of you here.
I assume everybody in the chat's already subscribed to Aaron, but if you haven't, please go subscribe to Aaron. Aaron's a great person. The last thing I was going to say is tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. We are releasing a video that is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, hence me wearing the shirt tonight. And it is a Someone's Favorite Productions video that we are doing to celebrate Will Dodson's book that he did on Toby Hooper. He's the editor of that with Christopher Wolfter. And it is an extremely great video. I hope you enjoy it. It's got some faces you'll recognize. It's got some stuff that you will appreciate. It's very, very insightful information on Toby Hooper. We've got a lot coming in the next couple months that is going to hopefully make a lot of you very, very happy, but a lot of that starts tomorrow. Aaron, again, thank you for your time. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. Every single Thursday being able to do this is wild. It's a great time with you every single week. Next week's going to be another fun one. We're trying to do all horror in October. I'm always excited for that.
I'm honored, but dude, the work you're doing. Proud of you, dude. I'm like the grandfather of YouTube guys. I'm so proud of this stuff.
I appreciate it. Everybody, we'll see you next Thursday. In the meantime, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.